Good evening, RetroUnlimers, and welcome to RetroUnlim Live 14, Wigan Athletic, 0. No more references to football in the rest of the night. Probably, possibly, probably not. But we do have Bob of Let's Get Retro. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing this evening? Very well,
I'm actually quite sick at the moment, but I raised myself up from my sick bed to come and RetroUnlim.
Oh, okay. Have you got your paracetamol?
Oh God, yeah. I have the drip I have a big drip kind of just off camera here, an IV. So if I just slide off camera every so often, it's probably because I'm passed out. Please someone PM my wife and get her to come in and poke me and wake me back up again.
Okay, we'll send you some Lensip.
It's not a drip, it's an enema.
No.
He knows his medicines.
And we've also got Michael Burhan. Hello.
Howdy ho.
Howdy ho, neighbour. You know. Sorry?
Howdy ho.
What was that you said about football? What was that you said about football? We're not allowed to mention the football tonight.
The only Englishman that doesn't watch football.
Oh, that's okay. We'll treat you as one of our own. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by the football because I'm actually watching it. I'll just update you here. England are currently losing 1-0 to Chile because England are terrible and it's only a friendly and nobody cares about friendlies. So that's enough football chat.
I find that England don't like chili, because it's very hot for the stomach.
Oh, I'd have thought because they're called Chile, they would have been cold. Somebody get the sound effect.
You got your under 21s game was yesterday, and I think you played Finland. And I discovered there's a Finnish player with a very Finnish name of Patrick O'Shaughnessy. That's a real Finnish name right there.
O'Shaughnessy.
Patrick O'Shaughnessy. No, there's a real player for the Finland national team called Patrick O'Shaughnessy. I think his dad was Irish or something, but I think he scored yesterday.
Well, how come he didn't choose to play for Ireland then?
I don't know, possibly because we're a bit shite at the moment. In a couple, I'm sure when Roy
said he
Keane
scored.
Can I
there's going to be a lot of that, man.
You're probably a lot better than Finland.
Yeah, when Roy Keane and Martin O'Neill just shout at the team and shout them back into being good again, then I'm sure he'll want to sign up for them. But right now I think Finland is the hot bet to go for, really, you know. But we'll have more fun supporting Ireland.
Yes, of course. Yes, as I have over the years. Because, of course, I support all the home nations, including the Republic of Ireland. But only if they have players who play for Wigan Athletic. And the third person, or rather the fourth person in the chat this afternoon, or this evening, it's rather in the morning where you are, isn't it? It is Clay.
3:36.
Sorry?
3:36 p.m.
Oh, in the afternoon, okay.
Yeah.
So I was correct in saying it was the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's Clay from Gaming History Source. How are you this
Doing
afternoon?
good. I'm doing good. I'm doing well.
Well, thank you very much.
Smelling the food wafting out of the kitchen.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. I'll say today, so we don't get mixed up with the afternoons and evenings.
And it's first time meeting here, Clay, as well, because
nice to meet you.
Since I've joined the pack, I've been about 3 or 4 of these, I think. So it's the first time we're meeting. So it's a pleasure to meeting you.
Oh, I'd have thought you'd be keeping a detailed record of all your appearances, just like I do. In fact, I have a little notebook here in which I note down every single time code of all the videos, so I can go back to any individual moment in any show. Not. Right. I think we should move straight on to the birthdays. Well, since Scott's not here to tell me off, haha, I can do them, yes. Chad Kruger, Canadian singer and guitarist who has led the band Nickelback. He is 39 today. Well, happy birthday, Chad. And Randy Savage, the Macho Man. He starred in the World Wrestling Federation and the World Championship Wrestling fights in the 80s and 90s. He sadly died in 2011. And he was born in 1952, so that would make him...
Old.
1952? Jesus.
I think that may be incorrect. Hold on a minute. We'll check. Actually, I'm thinking of Macho Man Andy Savage, I think. Yes, indeed. He was born in 1952. I didn't realize he was that old.
I had no idea either.
Yes.
Dude, that's scary.
He would have been 60. Hold on a minute. Oh, sorry. It's not his birthday. It's the date of his death. I need to do more research. I need to do more research on these. Or rather, my researcher. I'm going to sack him. Steve, you're sacked. Right, there you go. Because of that, no more birthdays, because these others are probably incorrect now. But on this day, in 1989, Batman, the film, is released on videotape. And the following year, 1990, producers confirmed that Milli Vanilli didn't sing on their album, which I guess is kind of commonplace these days. I don't know what you think about that, guys.
Don't you know it's true? Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I did
Didn't they make them hand back their Grammys? I believe they had to actually give back any awards given to them.
Yeah, and now everybody doesn't sing their own music.
Exactly.
Beyonce giving back a Grammy.
There was actually, and I don't know how I know this, there was actually an album out the following year called The Real Milli Vanilli, which was like the two less photogenic guys. They actually did the singing. It didn't do very well, really, you know.
Oh, that's a pity, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah,
Why didn't they give the Grammys to them?
They should have. If there was any justice, they would have, but it was too late. Damn them.
I wonder where those two. I wonder where those
Justice
two
for the
guys are
Vanilla
now.
too.
Yes.
We should sign a petition.
This wouldn't have happened in the Latin Grammys.
There's a Latin Grammys.
There are a Latin
Yes.
Grammys.
I wonder
In
if there's.
fact, I get to watch it every time it comes on.
I was gonna. I wonder if there's a Mancunian Grammys. Sorry, that joke would have fallen on completely deaf ears. Yes, we better move on quickly. Well, as you know tonight, England football team are playing, and I'm supposed to keep updating you on the score on that, but since nothing's happened, I'll move on to the next thing. Tonight is also Children in Need Night here in the UK, which is an annual telethon that they organise on the BBC, and they have all sorts of interesting stuff happen, like singers coming on and miming and things like that, like Milli Vanilli.
Don't you know it's true? Ooh, 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 support children in need.
That was bad. That was
You
really
need
bad.
someone to sing for you, man. I'm gonna be honest. Is there a Doctor Who thing? I know like the children needs usually have some. Well, every couple of years is like a Doctor Who special type thing for it.
I believe that's
Well, they
correct.
did. They've actually released a Doctor Who prequel.
Oh, I
to
saw
the Day
that.
of the Doctor.
I saw that, and I'm not going to say any more in case people haven't seen it. They want it because there's a massive spoiler for it.
And it does tie the movie franchise
Oh,
into
that's-
the current.
The Doctor dies.
No, they had the they did that standalone movie, didn't they? That tied in with Doctor Who and NBC when they originally were going to reboot the franchise, and
It's Inspector Spacetime. Sorry, not. It's a community joke. Yes.
it was with is it Paul McGann? Paul McGann, is it? Yeah, Paul McGann, I think. But he basically was the Doctor, and then they ended the Doctor Who thing because no series ever came from that. And what they did, they played something extremely clever, I think, because they're tying it in with the Day of the Doctor thing. Because there's supposed to be this Doctor who's like the Doctor of War. He's supposed to be like a complete and utter psychopath. And they go into his creation and they use the Doctor from that movie, Paul's character, and they end his run as the Doctor, which I thought was really it was a nice way to sort of say goodbye to that character, which never really got an ending because they started the new series with
Christopher
what's his name?
Eccleston. Yeah, Christopher Eccleston. Yeah.
Yeah, Christopher Eccleston.
Well, do
yeah.
you guys think we should do something Doctor Who related right now for children in need and get people to donate? Because I've got the official number here. If you'd like to donate to Children in Need, a £1 donation can be made by texting the word GIVE to 70701, and a £5 donation by texting the word DONATE to 70705. 70705. So do you think we should Do you think we should do something cool then for children in need right now? Should I shave my hair off?
As long as no one shaves their genitalia
Live.
live on air. Because
Yeah,
we don't need that.
I'd like to get through one live stream without someone shaving the genitalia live on screen.
Oh,
it's MJ.
Now you've said it. Oh no, my razor isn't working. Ah, there we go. I'm going to shave the back of my hand for children in need right now, although you can't see it.
It's his left hand, so we all know what he uses that for.
Yeah, he's shaving his AJ.
It's done. You'll have to just take my word for it. There you go. Now, donate money. Now, fools.
You sound shorn. You sound slightly less hairy.
Yes, and I've got a red hand.
I don't
I didn't get that way.
Don't
It
forget.
wasn't the one he shaved.
Don't forget, I am a yak, so it'll just grow back within seconds.
Yakety yak.
Don't talk back. Yes, that's the world
Take
record.
out the papers and the trash.
A world record for the shortest time that we've gone before mentioning adult. Good evening.
I guess I missed these jokes.
Yeah,
Yes, it's
you're gonna have
something.
to.
It's something of an in-joke on the podcast.
Basically, yeah, the incredibly bad Ernie impressions, Arnold Schwarzenegger
I
impressions.
don't know what you're talking about. My impression is awesome.
Arnold Schwarzenegger cannot even impersonate himself.
I know we should all just do Arnold impressions for children in need.
No.
Donate
Get
now.
everyone away.
Do it now. Donate £1 to children in need.
If
Oh,
you
dear.
don't, I will tell your mom.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Who's your
Chris.
daddy? What's his credit card number? And use it to ring and donate.
Donate now.
Do it now.
Donate now or I'll break your fucking legs.
Can anybody
I'm
do
sorry,
any
what's that?
Sylvester Stallone impressions just to break the cycle?
You can't break the cycle, man.
There you go.
I haven't even watched any Stallone movies. So I don't even know what the motherfucker sounds like anymore.
Well, I'm gonna.
He sounds the same as he always does, like.
Adrian.
Well, I'm going to make a retro confession right now and say that I don't recall ever watching Rocky.
It's quite good.
That's quite good.
It
Or
is
the
quite
film's good, or the fact that I didn't watch it.
It's quite good. It's quite a good movie. You should watch it. And you know, the first one, you know, like before it became all hyped up and stuff, it's a really good film. And the rest of them are like, oh, like you know, the '80s nostalgia will get you through them. You know, but the first one is a genuinely good film. And he's actually not a bad writer, you know. Before he just went up his own arse, like Sylvester Stallone could actually write a decent movie when he wants to.
So did Stallone actually write the script for Rocky?
I believe he
Yes. Yes.
Oh wow! It reminds me of that Irish movie you were telling us about on one of the earlier streams.
And he also.
What was that,
did.
Rudy?
Fatal
Fatal
Deviation.
Deviation.
It's currently the only Irish martial arts movie available, and it's some guy, and I forget his name now. I'm sorry, dude, if you're ever watching this, but I may have doubled the sales of it by talking about it to like 4 DVDs. But it's basically a guy who decided to make his own martial arts movie.
Oh, Drunken Master.
Oh no! This is it's more shit-faced master really, but it's just fucking. It's beyond. It's not even so bad. It's good. It's just its own. It's out there in its own. It's its own genre basically. Rural Irish martial arts movies. Just Fatal Deviation. I can say no more. It's probably up on YouTube. But just go watch it. Just don't watch it sober. Jesus.
Would you recommend that ahead of Rocky then?
Possibly not, unless you're really absolutely massively shit-faced drunk, and and you couldn't handle the subtle nuances of Rocky, and you just want some guy up the mountains in Ireland kicking the shit out of an old guy. Then yeah, basically it gets 4 bongs out of 5.
4 bongs out of 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what more could you want from a film? Well, actually, before we move on again,
Acting, plot, story. Sorry, go on.
Before we move on again, there is one more birthday that I should mention. It's the birthday of Patrick, 8-Bit Relic, a regular on the RetroUnlim live stream.
Hello, Patrick.
Happy birthday to you, Patrick.
Hold on, that's copyrighted. You can't sing that.
It's
Google
all right.
will pull us down.
Oh yes, of course, because on the 18th everything's going all strict,
exactly.
isn't it? Well, I can tell you now. Oh, I mentioned this on last week's stream that I had 3 videos flagged, or not flagged, but it came up saying this video's got copyrighted content on it. And I managed to fix 2 of them by removing the copyrighted content with a special tool that they provide on YouTube now. However, one of them I wasn't able to do so because the video had over 10,000 views. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Should I pull it down? Should I leave it up and risk the ire of Google, who just so happened to have an advertisement on the television just as I'm talking? That was strange.
They know.
Oh.
Go to hell, Google.
What Dave Longboy's 1975 is doing, which is basically taking some of his those videos down and sticking them up on Dailymotion. So at least they're up there somewhere, you know.
I don't necessarily trust Dailymotion. It's full of porn.
You make it more
the porn is gonna.
I should know.
Videos, you know.
I could just see, like, you know, the people go, I came for the yak and I stayed for the porn.
Yes. Harry
I
Yack.
was slightly disappointed, but no.
Harry Yack's going into the porn industry.
Shave that yak.
Yes. Send more money and I'll shave my other hand. And by hand, I mean something else.
Oops.
Well, before Dave gets here, you mentioned Retro Games. Sorry, not Retro Games 1979. He's not coming tonight. You mentioned Lawn Boys Post 1975. Yep. Now, before he gets here, and takes over the show as he usually does, I'm just going to make a point of something interesting that happened this week. On one of my videos, I received a comment from the developer of a game that I did a video on. Ooh. And the name of the guy is Christophe Lebouil. He's French, I believe. And the video... Oh, yes, indeed. And in my video, I branded him, or may not have branded him, a crazy French person. But this was his response to the video, I should say, as background. The video was called Formula 1 Council Estate Edition, and the name of the game is Car Massacre. And you're basically... It's one of those homebrew games from the 90s on the Amstrad CPC. And you're basically a car, and you have to avoid all different obstacles, such as trees and old ladies. In fact, you can run the old ladies over if you wish, but you've got to collect fuel cans. It's in that sort of retro vein. And he left a comment on my video this week. He said, "Hi, Harry." Oh, I've got to do this in a French accent, haven't I? Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Xenophobia. Hi, Harry. I enjoyed your comment so much that I couldn't resist to say hello. Well, I am the crazy French person. To add some historical info, I didn't really plan to release this game. I made it for fun and training. And I'm not going to read the rest because it's quite long. But he's talking about doing a second Car Massacre game for the iPhone/Android.
That sounds more like Arnold on Helium.
Well,
Hello, Harry.
Hello, Harry.
Stop it! Stop it now!
It's actually pretty cool. That's happened to me once or twice. I've had at least twice 2 people that made games that I was talking about have put comments on. Or in fairness, it's always possible 2 people pretending to be those people, but that'd be a bit sad. But there was a game called Rally Speedway, and it's a guy called flipping hell, I can't think of his name, and his name is on the cartridge. It's not Scott Adams. It'll come to me later on. I remember it later on. But
Ben Devleash.
He basically put a comment on. I played it, and about a month later, there's a comment on going, "Yeah, hey, I wrote that game, and yeah, glad you enjoyed it, and here's how to do braking," because I was saying, "Oh, I can't brake in this." So
oh, cool.
And then the second time there was the BBC micro version of Bubble Bubble. The guys that programmed it one of the guys that programmed it put a note in afterwards going, "Listen, glad you enjoyed it," and it was never released because it was basically Firebird, who did the various releases for for Bubble Bobble at the time, basically decided that particular computer, the BBC Micro, that no one was buying it, so it wouldn't sell. But it was lovely, and I'm glad that I didn't slag that off, you know, because there'd be nothing worse than going, this game is an atrocity. It wasn't so much released as it escaped, you know, and then you get a comment going, I wrote that, or I made that.
Oh yes. Well, I'm quite glad I didn't slag the game off because I actually really liked it. The Car Massacre game, that is, not Bubble Bobble for the BBC Micro.
Which is quite good though.
Yes, although there's a bit of a trend for doing that sort of thing, isn't there? Revamping these games for other consoles and taking them back and recoding them for things like the Spectrum and the Amstrad.
This was actually back in the day when Bubble Bobble was still a viable, you know, thing to sell on tape. But actually, now you mention it, I did have one of the guys that did R-Type on the Amstrad. Put a couple of comments as well, which is nice. This is the remake, which is fantastic, by the way. If you get a chance to have a look at it, do, because it's just a lovely port.
Yeah, and the good
Is that the
thing about
PS3 version?
No, we're still on the Amstrad.
Yes,
PS3 will be 2025 before it hit, like, you know, that, you know.
No, because they did do a
gen
port of it. They did I believe they released a variation of it on Xbox Live Arcade, where it was, I don't know if it was a reboot, but it was another version of, it was a variation of R-Type.
The kind of 2.5, it wasn't quite 3D, it was kind of...
It's 2.5D.
Yeah, exactly,
basically.
yeah. I need to get hold of that at some point. I have R-Type Final on the PS2, and I still have to actually finish that.
Clay, have you done a video on R-Type yet?
R-Type, yes.
I believe, yeah, and his ones are more thorough than mine. His are like, you know, they are just an art form in themselves, and you got to check them out if you haven't.
So, my boy.
Legendary.
Yeah, sorry,
Oh, Dave.
well, I was watching the football, and also, I can't believe we're losing a goal to Chile. Never mind.
Well, they do have Jean-Beau Séjour, Dave.
Yeah. I had to reinstall my plugin. I've done this Hangout, 5 weeks in a row, but for some reason tonight it made me reinstall the plugin.
Me too. It did the same thing. I thought I had a virus or something. I was like, why is the plugin working?
What was Dave like? I don't know. I think it's butt plug for them or something. That's what he's saying. I
can't complain about being late because I've never technically been on time.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if we do go off this evening, you know what's causing that now. It'll have said, this plugin has crashed, and Google will have screwed us over once again, but I shall not mention Google again.
I will.
Mr. Yack would
Google
be crying
sorting
his
shit out.
cornflakes.
Dave, what's your halftime report on the England game?
We're bollocks. There you go.
I haven't really been watching it.
With Velvet Smith commentary like that, I could be a sports pundit.
You could.
You join us right now at Wembley, I'd just like to say here at halftime, England are quite frankly bollocks.
I'd pay to see that. I'd pay Motti to do that, actually. He could do it as his swan song, couldn't he? I could give him £100. On Motti, on your last ever day on the BBC, say that. And to all of you out there, I'd like to say, bollocks.
Does bollocks count as a swear word? Can you say bollocks on TV?
UK TV, no. On US TV, yes. Because
And on the internet, anything's relevant.
Colin Meaney, who played, it was a Deep Space Nine in Star Trek, sneaked the word bollocks into an episode of Deep Space Nine. And it's not even fucking hidden, it's the start of it. They're doing something and it explodes, he goes, bollocks!
There's an episode of The Flintstones where Wilma stays, you've bollocksed it up again.
There's an episode of The Simpsons that had U2 in that they edited over here, but in North America he actually says wanker.
Yeah. Yeah, wanker.
Do you remember Robin and Sherwood?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, there's a really good episode, right, and you can see him, and you could just about hear it audibly, but is it Ray Winston?
Ray Winston.
Yeah, there's a bit where he says he's about to fight all the sheriff's men, right? Because when me and my mates found this at college, and obviously for some reason we found it absolutely even funnier when we were at college, if you know what I mean. There's a bit where he looks at the sheriff's men and then just goes, "Fucking Bosch."
What? Really?
Yeah. They obviously tried to change the audio and take it out, and you could ever so slightly just still hear it.
There's nobody noticed at the time, but Father Ted, there's an episode of it. It's the one with it's the one about the sheep, Chris the sheep. I don't even say that, but at one point, Graham Linehan snuck in a "fucking hell" in the background. It's like something happens, and it's like da da da, and there's people talking in the background. All he hears "fucking hell."
It is quite. Yeah, it's quite difficult to edit that stuff out. Oh, this reminds me. in Hey Jude, the song by the Beatles, there's a certain point in the song where I think John Lennon says, "Oh, F it," and I'm going to look this up so people can go and have a look.
Don't play it on here.
Oh yeah, God.
No, I definitely won't. But
We'll wait for Scott to come on when we want to get a strike for copyright.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, the official count of videos I have now culled is a staggering 73.
How much copyrighted music did you have in them?
No, I've taken the Steve Benway. I didn't know. All the In the Wild videos, they were just like music in the malls and stuff, so they went. But so certain ones with video game soundtracks where it's blatantly CD music and stuff like that, I've just been paranoid about.
Yeah, better safe than sorry, eh?
Yes.
So how many views has that costed you?
85,000.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I was on like, I don't know, 300,000. I don't know where I might still be above 200,000. I don't know. I don't care about that, but I would like to find whoever is doing this from Google and punch them squarely in the bollocks. But because you know what I mean, I understand if someone uploads a movie or blatantly takes the piss with TV shows and stuff like that. But what, 7 seconds of music in a shop? Come on.
Is it going to be that bad? I mean,
Probably not. I probably just wasted half my archive for nothing.
I had two strikes, two rather copyright notices, and they were both for something that was supposed to be royalty-free music. I just took them down anyway. It was being claimed by some Turkish guy, and for all I know, they might have been.
Turkish guy.
No, really, it was.
Doesn't sound legit.
No, it was Turkish kind of sounding music, so I'll give him that. It was the Shaq Fu ad that I did.
Oh yes.
I had this real.
So basically, it was in the interest of the internet that these things went.
Yeah, I think in fairness, that's why they asked me to take it down. So.
Well, fair enough.
I'm waiting to see what happens on the 18th. I try and keep everything. I think I've 2 or 3 videos with a couple of seconds of music on them, so I don't know. They might take everything down, or they might take nothing down. I don't know.
I just had to take a DOA video down today because I received a copyright notice because of it. And it's been there for like 3 years. And I've never heard anything about it until that point. Right,
and you've only just received a notice or a strike?
No, I just received a notice about it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. These are. I just got a notice, like I said, we're not going to do it, but just acknowledge this or don't. So I just deleted them.
Well, apparently,
when
they get more tough, they're going to just introduce direct strikes. That's what they say. I don't know if it's true. I think they're just, as a community, we're building it up far too much, and it's probably not going to be anywhere as near as we're making it.
But that's just a natural side effect of people being invested in something they like, though, isn't it? That's why paranoia creeps in a little bit, because we like it here. People put effort into their stuff.
I know,
but take it down, Google.
I think from Google's point of view, small to medium site, or small to medium channels like us, so we're not really. I mean, basically, they're like, guys with 2 or 3 videos, with fucking cat videos or whatever, they're getting millions of hits, or the big hitters, the guys that are, have millions and millions of subs. But we're kind of small fry, so they're not pushed about. I don't think they're pushed about, saving us or defending us, or I don't think we really matter to them, But I could be wrong. I could be really, really cynical, and I hope I'm not.
You don't matter to them. I mean, it's not about you anymore. It's about Google.
I heard, though, I don't know how much truth there is in this, but it's there's some U.S. law that's coming in quietly through the back door or something that affects copyright on all internet land. Someone left a comment about it, and I'm too lazy to go and find it. And that's why suddenly Google's getting tough on it.
That was me.
Was it?
Yeah.
You're a smart man. With excellent facial hair, may I add.
Well, thank you. I grew it myself.
Round of applause for his facial hair.
Yeah.
Now, if only Bob could sort his out.
I'm waiting until I have it long enough to braid, okay?
It never works. My brother's done tried it. It just poofs out. It's like an afro. He's got an afro on his chin.
I'm just sitting there just growing it. Yeah.
You see, the goatee seems to be the beard of choice for many guests and regulars on the RetroUnlim live stream, I've noticed.
These computer graphics.
Well, that's pretty fancy.
Yeah. This right here, £125,000. And a plug-in.
Yeah. What are you drinking there, Dave?
Diet Pepsi. Can I just say, Diet Pepsi's horrible.
You should steer away from that stuff, man. It's got aspartame and it's not good for your brain.
I know. My brain's so far dissolved by aspartame it doesn't matter anymore. I'm running on 1/3 brain.
Well,
What was that, Bob? What are you drinking?
Tesco's finest bitter shandy.
You
I
cheap bastard.
can't drink at the moment, and I just had an urge for beer, and it's like as close as I can get. So,
Real men drink Bass Shandy.
Bass shandy. Real men just drink beer, vodka.
Bob, I've actually just noticed that you are back to front. Because usually your microphone is on the right-hand side as we look, but today it's on the left.
He's the anti-Bob.
Unless you're broadcasting through a mirror.
It's true. I'm evil, Bob. It's hard to tell though because I have the goatee as well. So,
yes, you're broadcasting from the dark world today.
Evil universe, Bob.
Yeah.
Bizarro Bob.
You can tell because I spell my name differently. It's actually spelled backwards. It's the NB is at the start and the start NB is at the end.
Oh no!
You should have spotted.
But because of camel case, you cannot tell.
I think we need Rowan Atkinson on here as a guest at some point, just so we can go, hello, Bob.
Hello,
Bob. So remember earlier I was talking about Hey Jude. Well, according to Wikipedia,
Must be true.
it must be true. It's on Wikipedia. At 2:58 of the song, 2 minutes 58, someone can allegedly be heard to say "effing hell." There is some dispute.
We're probably
as to
talking
who
about
said-
Yoko.
There is some dispute as to who said this and whether it was really exclaimed at all. So there you go. Now you know. The more you know.
Because knowledge is half the battle, or something.
Yes.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Jose.
What's the British version of that then?
Budget cuts.
Oh, it was Action Force.
We put when they with our aircraft carrier that has no planes, it just pulls up alongside other aircraft carriers, and everyone just stands on deck and stares sternly at them. Yeah, wait till we get some fucking planes, bitches. Then you're in trouble.
Action Force, bikes range, cycles range.
I tell you what, have you ever seen the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier?
Oh, the flag.
Christ alive, it's massive. You could actually land a real plane on it.
It's like 7 foot long, and it was insanely expensive. I remember I was reading a book on it was a US book on retro toys, and basically the description was if a kid had this, either one of their parents had died or they got divorced. That was the only reason anyone ever got it, because it was huge. It was 7 foot tall, and it was insanely expensive.
Son, I got some good news and I got some bad news. One, your mother's dead, but two, check out this sweet aircraft carrier.
I'd just like to update you, the second half in the England game has indeed kicked off. There are no more goals, and I'll let you know if anything happens.
I actually have it on in the background.
All right, well, there's two of us that are going to be doing commentary. Oh, Jean Beausejeu got booked, apparently. I wonder if that was for diving. I wouldn't be surprised. Here's Jean Beausejeu's on the ball right now.
What's his pants from Manchester United? I forgot his name. The king of divers.
Cristiano Ronaldo?
No, because he doesn't play for Manchester United now, does he, Harry?
He used to, but...
Ashley Young.
Yeah,
seriously, someone slap some sense into him and stop bringing the game into ill repute, you prick.
Didn't Moyes do that anyway? He basically came out and said, you've got to stop diving or you'll never get picked for England. And indeed, he's not even in the squad, is he, for this?
No, what makes me laugh is when Moyes was still with Everton, he used to slag him off massively, but now he's with Manchester United. You can see that he doesn't like it, but he still stands vehemently by his side.
Well, what do you have to say about that, Bob?
I'm still sore. He's a good manager, but he's getting crucified at the moment for basically not being Alex Ferguson, I think. I don't know. I think in fairness, much as I don't like seeing United do well, I think they will do well by him, but it's still too soon.
They have to give it more than a season.
Well, sorry, go on.
It's okay. I was going to say sorry. Hang on. No, talk away. I think I'm going to try and show you a picture of that
sheep.
Sheep, yes. I was going to say the aircraft carrier, but I think the sheep would be more interesting now. Hang on.
I'm still on the Father Ted kick.
Chris the sheep.
Chris is shanked. I apologise if I go quiet at any time tonight. It's because I'm distracted by the football. I
found this on some sort of website. That's the size of the aircraft. They are not small children. They are normal-sized children, okay? The USS flag. a rather strangely named site.
More importantly, right, that must have one amazing steam catapult, because look at the size of the deck.
Yeah, but I think I don't know if the plane came with it, but most of the other stuff did. That's just insane.
But the plane wasn't cheap either.
You've got to lose both your parents for that whole kit.
So did you literally buy that from Argos in an aircraft hangar?
It was delivered by Chopper.
I don't think they sold it as separate because there wasn't enough plastic. To,
Holy shit!
Only one of them. That's it. They could only export one to England because we were still rationing plastic because of the war.
Those kids were very much enjoying that toy then. In fact, you could almost hear them through the internet.
But we never got the Death Star over here either, did we?
No, we got the cardboard version. The version you guys had was like plastic and it was awesome. Our one was 75% cardboard. All right, and some plastic.
Was that not the Blue Peter version?
Yeah,
Who knew that in the 80s England was a third world country?
Which made Ireland like a fourth world country.
Yeah.
Which isn't even a thing,
Now my country is a third world country.
I think we should all have a whip around and buy me that aircraft carrier.
I think you could actually surf on it. I'm gonna be honest. You could go surfing on that thing.
What do you reckon it's worth now? I mean, surely
all the money in the world.
It's got to be on eBay.
If someone find out what a mint in box one is worth, if the budget reserve.
It's probably enough to clear the economy.
That's how you bail. Yeah, that's how you bail out countries. You buy them a mint in box GI Joe aircraft carrier.
Well, while our intrepid researcher is looking that up, I think we should go to some comments for the first time this evening. We've not had that many, but I think it is my duty to read them out. Right.
Okay. There's one on here right now that's out of the box.
Oh my God!
$2,000.
Wow.
There's the crewman's chair is $8 if you want to buy like one piece of it.
The crewman's chair is $8.
Yeah, I'm not joking.
G.I. Joe, real expensive hero.
So somewhere there's a website selling the individual bits of that. So there might be.
If you bought it individually and built it like a jigsaw.
Yeah. The crewman's left hand, £15.
The crewman's left nut.
There's been a lot of talk about hands from you, man. It's starting to worry me. Talking about shaving your hands.
Just be happy that there's a vast amount of water between you and him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hope he doesn't start kissing his hand, and then we'll have problems.
What you drinking?
Iron Brew.
Neds?
Reds.
Ah.
Is that
Is that like Ricketts
back to
red?
front
If
as
you get
well?
absolutely pissed on it, then your shit's red the next day.
Yes.
Is it nice? Is it tasty and delicious?
Yeah, it's actually an apple beer.
Apple beer.
Yeah. It's actually pretty good.
Speaking of,
Does that count as one of your 5 a day?
If cider counts as one of your 5 a day, then yes.
Speaking of Reds, as I don't even know if this actually has. I can segue onto this, but has anyone bought their PS4 yet on launch?
Nope, because I'm not going next gen.
That was some nice segueing. I hope to buy one in about 2030 when the PS5 is out. Look, this is what I got today, right? This is kind of about and I'll trade it for PS4.
I don't know what that
buying
is.
a PS4. He's buying an Atari.
No, it's not even Atari. It's a Telesport.
Oh, Telesport. Is that the one where you had the epic gun game that was just a white cube?
Some sort of alien language. Oh, sorry, no, it's just back to front.
Yes. Yes, money and button.
Oh, that was very good, Bob.
That was Russian.
Yeah.
Should get a job in Doctor Who.
How do you flip your screen? Hang on, there's a way.
Did anyone see the Night of the Doctor?
Yeah.
Paul McGann little mini-toad.
Yeah, I really like that. I like
did.
the way that they connected it to the film, the one-off film that they did.
But they didn't just do that. What they did, and this is, I suppose we're spoiling it now, so for the love of God, just go watch it, right? But at one point he mentions a call of characters, and they were characters that showed up in... there was these audiobooks by a company called Big Finish. This is in between Doctor Who, the movie, finishing, and
he's technically the longest-running Doctor, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is,
technically, yes. The Russell T Davies thing coming out. So it was in between those. There's all these kind of audio plays, and he mentioned a load of. They're not supposed to be canon, right? So they're not supposed to be official Doctor. Well, they're not part of that Doctor Who storyline, but they are now because he mentioned a load of characters from it. So it was a nice little nod to that little thing.
I thought it was kind of cool because he's basically the only Doctor they could use and get away with because he still can pull off looking almost like he did 15 years ago.
You're not going to squeeze Colin Baker into his old costume.
No, but the thing is, it was a good move to use him because there was no connection between him and the new series.
Yeah, he's the only Doctor never seen regenerate.
What I liked as well was he was saying, no, they haven't contacted me, and even the other Doctors the other guys that play the Doctor were gone, they should contact the. And then it just appeared, and it was a real, totally spoiler-free, unless you've just seen this now, in which case it's spoiled. I'm really sorry.
Well, this had time
also,
to
Darth Vader is.
No, there's still time. There's a 30-second delay. Quickly.
Oh yeah, it's too late.
I'm Wang Chunging.
Caesar!
Quake!
Quick, he's so hard. The baddies need a bodyguard.
Okay. That's right now.
How can we still be losing? Ooh.
They're England, of course they'll still be losing.
Dave, I think your broadcast might be slightly ahead of mine.
Really?
Just seen a replay of that incident there. Lampard gets a chance to get it in the box, but the defender heads it away for a corner.
Lampard gets a chance to get in the box, but Christine wasn't in the mood. Sorry.
Hey.
She didn't want any tonight.
Is he still married to her?
I don't think they're married, are they?
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
That sounds Bob, because she's Irish and Bob's Irish, so he would know.
Nobody gets married these days, do they? They do civil partnerships.
I do.
No one gets married.
I get married, and I end up with the kids on the weekend.
Oh, I get married every weekend.
A little sinister laugh there.
That's why they call me Harry Yack.
Yack, it's a yak, ladies. They always come back.
Why with your first divorce, I told her not to talk back.
Consider this a divorce. Oh, that was rubbish, wasn't it?
I was quoting Schwarzenegger yesterday where I was doing an interview with someone, and they were like, they goes, I played Claudius in Hamlet, and I just started laughing. I was like, hey, Claudius, you killed my father. Big mistake. And he's just standing there looking at me going, what was that from? Was that Last Action Hero?
Oh, it's typical with any reference.
Yeah.
Any reference whatsoever.
Yeah, and I just mentioned it in jest, and he's just looking at me with a puzzled look on his face.
Bob, your microphone has been turned down, I believe.
Ooh, hang on.
No, Ireland's just temporarily running out of electricity.
That's what it is.
Just found the best clip on YouTube ever called 10 Angry Goalkeepers. Guess what it's about?
It's
Angry
about
goalkeepers.
Peter Schmeichel.
Sorry?
All 10 clips of Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah. Peter Schmeichel can bench press universes.
Dave, we need to get that football podcast sorted. We need to
Yeah,
do
we need
that.
to get it before we all get our channels taken down.
Yes, of course, before the 18th.
Is that Black Friday or is that Black Monday?
Dun, 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 dun. That was Blue Monday,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Sorry.
Close enough.
Hey!
You look at Roy Hodgson and I don't know, he's like an upset uncle at someone's wedding. Just looks ever so slightly. Go on, score some goals for me. For your Uncle Roy.
We have a new entrant to the call. Hello.
Hello there.
How are you this evening?
I am doing all right. How are you guys?
Hey, Clint.
I'd like to
Hello
thank you
there.
very
What's
much.
up, Clint?
I'd like to thank you very much for joining us this evening on the RetroUnlim live stream.
See, now we've got
Thank you
class.
for inviting me.
Got a
That's something.
very eclectic selection of consoles in the background. Is that a Commodore
Mostly
PET?
Mostly computers, yeah. I got a Commodore PET right here, an Apple II GS, a few Macintoshes.
If your background and Steve Benway's background had a fight, who would win?
Oh, yours.
I would win by software. I'm not sure if I would win by hardware. I think he has a leg up on me on that.
A leg up. Leg up, yes.
Leg up.
Guys, sorry, really quickly, you can hear me there, can you?
Yes.
Hey, I just had
Who
to
said
reverse
that?
one of the other microphones. Hello, I'm the guy in the background. Bob.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
So, could you please introduce yourself for the people in the stream?
Sure. I am Clint. I have the show Lazy Game Reviews on YouTube, and I've been doing that for a long time now. Almost 5 years, I guess. And, yeah, mostly retro-focused, although occasionally I show newer stuff.
And he's the only man
Whatever
in
I
North
wanna
America
talk
who has a ZX Spectrum, which makes him
one of the very
Very
few.
I actually
Yes.
have a package ready to come your way.
Oh.
I put the
Yes,
games in the
indeed.
airing cupboard because they've been in the loft for a while, and while there was silicone gel with them, I thought I'll leave them in the airing cupboard for a couple of days.
Oh, wait. Do you have airing cupboards in the States?
I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
How would you explain what an airing cupboard is?
So it's a cupboard that you put things into. There you go.
Yeah, it usually has your boiler. No, your system. You know, the thing that makes hot water in it, or ours does. Or maybe mine is the only house in the world that does that. So it's warm in there.
No.
So
My hot water thing is in like a basement surrounded by rat turds.
so you have an airing basement.
I suppose so. Yes.
See, America's
You have
still
dryers.
bigger.
We don't know anything about that, man. We all think that wanker is something to eat.
Well, some people try and eat it.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's our 18 plus rating for this week. Or 21 plus rating if you're in the States.
Yes.
I'd like to
Otherwise known
say.
as the Michael factor. Still losing.
Yes, indeed. There's been an incident, apparently.
There has.
I've just missed it. We're talking about the England game here, by the way. Oh,
Ooh, get up. Oh, that was... Oh, you girl. Granted, someone's ass in your face might hurt, but...
yes. For those North Americans in the stream and those watching, it's a game where you hit a pig's bladder with your foot and try and put it in a giant letterbox. And that's what we're talking about right now.
You just looked it up on Wikipedia, didn't you?
Yes.
Or is that game where you guys hired David Beckham to do absolutely nothing for?
Are you playing
Oh,
a game?
come on. Beckham was a wonderful person in the sport. Alright, he could do good free kick. There you go. I found something positive to say. And he had nice hair.
Well, actually, he was
I have
very
nice
clever.
hair.
He was an intellectual, really, but he pretended to be thick for the cameras.
Really? So he was basically doing a Russell Brand.
Russell
Did you ever
Brand.
hear what Jeremy Clarkson said about David Beckham? He said, because they were actually mates, he said David Beckham is a very, very, very intelligent person, believe it or not, but unfortunately God gave him a squeaky voice to balance things out.
That's cold.
I think, you know, my opinion on the guy is I have this theory that Posh is actually a puppeteer and Beckham's her
Dance for me,
puppet.
David, dance. I've heard that she's pure evil and only silver through her heart would kill her.
Oh, you weren't a fan of the Spice Girls,
But
then?
I have not been able to get close enough yet to ascertain said theory.
Yes, and you'll probably
I
get
think-
locked up if you do.
I heard it only appears once every century.
Well, I heard if you get too
From her
close, your
grave.
skin might actually burst into flame.
I heard that she is the only thing Chuck Norris is scared of.
It always goes back to Chuck Norris, doesn't it? It's like Godwin's Law, I think it is, where
But that's because
every
Chuck Norris keeps
conversation...
my house safe from North Korean missiles.
Oh, no.
Well,
don't
you know
want to-
why? You know what happened to the Philippines, right? Chuck Norris sneezed.
I would argue that possibly that may be in bad taste.
Maybe.
Anyway,
Well,
steering
you
us
know-
back onto video game related
Yes,
topics.
of course.
One
Yes,
more
David-
Chuck Norris thing here. One more.
I heard that Chuck Norris can bend it like Beckham.
Chuck Norris bended Beckham.
Yeah, see,
Chuck Norris doesn't bend
once
balls
had
into
sex-
goals, he bends Beckham into them.
Chuck Norris once had sex in the back of a semi with a prostitute, and a single drop of sperm got on the seat. And now they call that truck Optimus Prime.
Will we get done for copyright if I just grab my Chuck Norris book and that's the rest of the podcast done right there? I'll
Pretty
just
much.
read it out.
Well,
Actually,
we all
where
know
is it?
that.
I've got
He's
one
got the
even
touch.
better than that. I got the Chuck Norris combined Mr. T book. Oh yeah,
Ooh.
classy. Hang on.
I'm Mr. T, fool.
So you have a Chuck Norris joke, and then as soon as you have a Chuck Norris saying, you always end it with, "I pity the fool."
Mr. T responds to it.
Yeah.
I pity the fool who's Chuck Norris. I pity the fool.
Yes. So getting back to games. Oh, actually, no. I'd let Dave have
I've
his
lost
floor
it.
here. Oh.
Oh,
shit.
Such a shame.
Paper
Oh.
cannot just contain these
They-
things.
Exactly. It just roundhouse kicked its way out of your house.
But I'll tell you what I do have right next to me. Sexy!
Ooh, very nice.
Very nice.
Nice.
What
Yes,
is
I'm
that?
trying to get it white again, because it's gone awful yellow.
Sorry,
There you
what?
go, computer manufacturers for future generations, stop making systems that are white.
Have you
That's what she
tried
said.
or thought about using any of the
Exactly.
retro bright solution
Yeah,
and
I was
stuff
gonna say,
works?
retro
Oh, does,
Wonderfully.
it actually work? I
Oh,
It really
yeah.
does.
Yes, it does.
The downside, though, for us people is that you need sun. It needs the ultraviolet light, and there is none in this part of the world.
We live under a dome.
Yeah, exactly. A
Of course,
cloud.
you can also get those indoor plant heater lights. Of course,
Yeah.
you might get scouted out for other activities,
I
but
was gonna
it
say-
works.
You're going off. You're buying chemicals, and then you're getting one of those UV lights. You may as well just go into a police station and have yourself, because you'll be raided right there.
If it was if it was me buying chemicals and UV lights, the police would probably come to my house. It's a true story. I was actually once stopped in France because of the colour of my skin. I nearly missed the ferry. But it's
I guess you should
it's
have
actually no. They're just like they saw a bunch of brown people in a van and thought we were all terrorists or Mexicans.
My friend's mum, right, is always, one of those people that just feels the cold. So her heating's on 24/7, and it's always baking hot in her house. And when the police chopper goes by, as it frequently does in Bristol, scanning for massive amounts of heat signatures coming off houses for people growing pot, they sent the full sort of group of police officers to her house. And they searched her house, and she thought it was hilarious. They searched her house, didn't find any pot whatsoever, and then basically, they asked her why it was so hot in there, and she just goes, "I feel the cold."
I leave my heating on 24/7.
That's industrial power heating to get picked up by a police chopper.
It's just like I'm an old age pensioner, you twat. That's what my mum would literally.
I'm one of the few
swear
people
at
who
them.
can actually afford heating in this country right now, Mr. Cameron.
Yeah.
Why does this always go back to politics?
Well, did you hear there's an article going around about the fact that the Conservatives lied about everything, and it's
Kind of like the previous
literally-
Labour government then.
Yeah, they've come out and because they're blaming
Controversial,
Labour
go
for the
on.
recession, and they say it's one of the worst
Go on,
recessions ever, and all that crap. And it turns out that we're only 10% higher than when Labour was in power.
John Bossiter just went up in my estimation, taking on
Yes.
Jack Wilshere.
But Jack Wilshere shouldn't do anything because you could flick him like that and he's out for 6 months.
Yes, good point.
Oh, hang on. We're beating Latvia 3-0. Sorry, this is the Republic of Ireland game. We appear to be beating Latvia.
Oh,
World
is that-
champions of the year, 3-0.
Keane scored, didn't he?
Hang on, let's have a look. Yes, Robbie Keane in the 22nd minute, and then Aidan McGeady and Shane Long. Shane Long! You must defeat Shane Long to stand a chance. That's so good on a t-shirt.
Video games!
He's down, he's
Yeah,
down.
video games!
Best football
Yeah.
game then. There you go. See what I did there? What's your favourite football game? Soccer game. I
Microphone
regret saying
soccer.
soccer, but I will for our international guests.
Well, I'm going to be a little bit controversial and say fever pitch soccer, known in the States as head-on soccer.
I'm going to have to say Match Day.
Match
Greatest spectrum
debate?
football game ever.
Match day.
Yeah. Do you never play it?
No, I don't believe I have.
Actually, I don't think I've actually asked this question before I say, did you play Match Day? Did you actually have a Spectrum?
No, I had an Amstrad CPC.
Oh, you disgust me. Hands down, the greatest system ever made in the world ever.
Was the Amstrad CPC?
No, it was a Spectrum.
What are you both talking about a Commodore 64? It's really confusing.
Now I can admit this, by the way, now that many, many, many years have gone on, that I was ever so slightly jealous of people at school who had Commodores. But they didn't know at the time.
I don't ever recall talking about video games at primary school, ever.
Again, you disgust me, secret of your statement.
It's a very poor area I grew up in. Nobody
I grew up in
had
Bristol,
video
mate. When it
games.
came to punch-ups in the playground, and you didn't admit that the Spectrum was the best. Come on! Who wants some, you Commodore-loving bastards?
And yeah, I'd be that Atari kid in the corner.
Did you used to call them commies? Used to call them commies.
I used to get in the Sega versus Nintendo fights. I was like, I own both, you posh bastard, and then I'd get beaten up.
Let's be honest, you had it coming if you own both.
Yeah.
This is what next gen. I mean, current kids growing up now, they miss out on this. Going, oh my god, the Xbox is better than the PS3. You know?
No. The Xbox is bigger than the PS3.
Sorry, yes. Well, it is now. Yeah, exactly. But I like, you know, my Call of Duty looks exactly the same as your Call of Duty, but oh look, there's a slight difference in anti-aliasing. Like, we had different fucking games. Like, you know, if you had a Spectrum, you had Jet Set fucking Willy or whatever it was, and you know, like I was on the Atari, and we had a totally different set of games, and there was a third set on the Amstrad. There was a certain crossover.
Yeah, but they were quite uniform across the Amstrad, the Commodore, and the Speccy.
Uniform.
Yeah, well, no, they didn't look the same, but they were the same company made the same bunch of games. Because let's be honest, the greatest 8-bit software house ever in the history of everything that's freaking epic is Ocean.
And I'd say System 3 over Ocean, man.
Oh, I remember when they did Taylor Thompson's swimming game.
I remember my dad looked at me when I was hammering the keys, and he said, "You know, you should probably change the keys so you don't wear them out." And I was like, pfft. And then 2 months later, we had to replace the main brain in the keyboard. Daley Thompson's Super Test. Oh yeah. I remember people thought you couldn't possibly get better than Daley Thompson's Decathlon, and then Daley Thompson's Super Test came out, and you could tell it was better because on the cover he was wearing a tracksuit. Oh yeah. As opposed to just his shirt.
So did any of those...
There was a third one as well, wasn't there? Wasn't there a third Daley Thompson game?
Did any of those
Daley
Thompson's games transfer over into the next generation?
Daley Thompson, sports presenter. No, not really.
Yeah. You remember when he won his gold medal and he didn't know the national anthem, so he just whistled it? That was cool.
Daley Thompson's pond fishing.
Daley Thompson, last clean athlete ever.
Daley Thompson, how that guy got busted for steroids.
No, he didn't, did he?
No, I'm just saying he's pointing.
Oh, just
the game's just him.
You almost destroyed my hero.
No, the game's him just pointing his finger at like one of the other athletes getting busted for roids.
Checking out his guns.
Yeah, Daley Thompson is laughing at you.
I want a retro reboot of Daley Thompson.
The game or the person?
Be careful what you ask for.
On the Mega Drive.
Daley Thompson's sitting there and watching.
Because let's be honest, the Mega Drive pad's probably one of the few pads that's built to be a button hammer and never break. I heard that the Space Shuttle was pretty much 3/4 Sega Mega Drive pads, and that's how it survived re-entry.
For those of you that haven't ever played those games, they're basically just like track and field style things, but you use the joystick.
Harry, find a picture.
And they destroy joysticks. They're literally just waggle, which prepared us for something later in life. But basically, yeah, exactly. And that was it. It was just fucking waggle the joystick, hit the button occasionally, and no skill, and it just destroyed joysticks.
I think I broke mine already.
That's what she said.
We're plumbing the depths tonight, ladies.
Oh god, yeah. But when I got my Commodore, when I had my midlife crisis Commodore, and I bought my Commodore back a couple of years ago.
Midlife crisis Commodore,
yeah, exactly. Because I lost all the consoles.
Sounds like a Lionel Richie tribute band.
Hello.
But it had the guy that had it previously had built. He built this interface. It was just literally a box. That came out, and he wired all that. He put a port in and soldered cables from the keyboard to this port, and literally all it was a box with 2 keys in it, T and P. And I'm pretty sure either A, it was some sort of special needs kind of thing that had been set up for someone, or B, it was just for playing something like Daley Thompson's. I
think it was. Yeah, I'd like to think it was.
Just do this.
The Daley Thompson box.
Yeah.
It came with a
I tell you
special
what,
I
just
wish
edition.
I
show
was
how
looking
much I
for it
love
there,
the
I can't
Spectrum
find it.
back in the day, right? I couldn't listen to Commodore music just on principle.
No, that's just shooting yourself in the face. Just
Well-
you know, that's just cutting off your nose to spite your face, man. Like the Commodore.
Fanboy.
Oh, but no, Sid.
Should we do some comments, do you think?
Please.
Yeah, go for
Sure.
it.
I was going to do them early,
Let's
but
plug that dead
neglected
air.
Hey.
to. Colo CPC says, the PS4 don't launch in Europe in another 2 weeks or so no.
Oh.
Oh. It was just Darrell Breen was saying he got his, so that's why I assumed that they'd launched. Obviously, that's a special celeb one. Sorry, Darrell Breen's a comedian.
Yeah, did you
And a very
did you hear
good
about that
comedian at
Boogie
that.
guy as well? The what's his name? Boogie. He plays a character on YouTube called Francis. He
Boogie
had,
Nights.
Oh.
Boogie Nights.
he had a
Boogie.
friend of his that basically works for Sony, and the guy got him like a model of the PS4 to test out, and everyone went crazy. He was getting like loads of fatty remarks and everything.
The
And-
guy went the extra mile with it and had his name engraved in it.
What?
I mean, that's special right there. That is special.
But it was actually funny. He was like, I was doing it to test everybody, and I wanted those kind of comments to show how mean people can be. And I was like, you're shoving the thing in their face. Of course they're going to get mean. You know, come on, that's
People
troll
do.
baiting. He got a PS4 early, and he got it. I believe he had a friend who worked for Sony, so he got it for free. So the guy gave him a free PS4,
What?
and everybody went apeshit.
If
They
he
give him a
got it
stack
early,
of
right?
games like this, too. This
Yeah.
big stack of games.
I'd like to think that even if he's famous, if he got it early, he would still be the same boat as everyone else. Because the minute he turns it on, he's got a 45-minute update.
Yeah, it wasn't. It
I'm
wasn't
sure.
because he was famous that he got it early. He got it. He got it early because he had a friend who worked there, and the guy, you know, as a gesture, I think gave him the bloody thing for free. It wasn't like someone in Sony went, "We've heard of your work, we like you, so we're going to give it to you for free."
That's some gesture. Like, I mean, I have a friend who works for Sony, and I get the odd game off him. I mean, the only way I get like a 400, quid console if he goes, "Here you go, Bob. Sorry for killing your sister. I hope we're still friends."
Yeah.
That's,
We're out of
it.
aircraft
That's the only
carriers.
reason. I'd be like, "Yeah, we're buddies now. Don't worry."
So you keep pushing your sister in front of his car, hoping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyone could have ran that JCB over,
But
easily.
it's hilarious though because he just did that ultimate troll bait. He got his girlfriend to film him, or his wife, whatever she is, to film him, and he got the console and he was playing his Francis character, and everyone just went ape. People were swearing at him, loads of negative and hurtful comments, and he was sitting there, he was
I like
like,
that. All
It's
these
like it's
comments, I like to think he's crying when he reads this. Oh, these comments are just so damn hurtful.
yeah, no, he had this look on his face. He was like, he looked like he was really upset and depressed, and he goes, well, I did it because I wanted those comments, because that makes
I was
me
testing
strong.
the water.
Yeah, I wanted to see what the reactions were like, and I was judging these. I was like, you're troll baiting, come on.
So,
it-
quick tally. Who's getting an Xbox or a PlayStation? New one.
Neither.
Neither.
Not for another year or so.
Eventually, probably, just because why not? But
Well,
I'm not
there's-
really leaning towards either one really heavily. So
There's a question. Have any of you guys ever early adopted, bought a console the first week or two it's come out?
Yes,
Never.
Wii U.
Yeah, I got PlayStation 2 on launch. I actually got it on launch. You know that the complete balls up that was the PlayStation 2 launch?
Yeah.
I was one of the people who actually managed to get it on launch, and the funny thing is, I was one of the last people to pre-order it. I did it on a whim in a shop, and then my mate, who was like, you won't get it because I pre-ordered months ago, was so pissed when mine arrived and his didn't. I think that was it. My Mega Drive was a couple of months after launch. But hey, technically that's still pretty good because it was
Yeah.
Japanese, so
You
therefore
got
it
it
was
before, yeah.
18 months
Yeah.
before.
In
Oh.
bulk.
I've never early adopted, because I used to sell consoles, and I know generally that early adoption stuff, on the one hand, it's great for hacking or whatever, but on the other hand, they tend to fail a lot, and also
Yeah.
they're very expensive.
All the
I
bugs
know
aren't
people that
quite
bought...
ironed out yet.
Oh, nice.
This is the only one I've ever bought on launch. What a sucker I am, huh?
Oh, and wasn't there... Yeah, and then the PlayStation came out at a nice low price after that, and then, oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I got a
That's not
Japanese
stupid.
PlayStation a good
Virtual
year or
Rally,
so
then.
before the UK as well.
Saying that, you
Well,
weren't the only one who got the Saturn on launch. My brother did as well. My brother was like, "There's still potential." I was like, "Look, you need to put an extra card in there to give it additional RAM. There isn't potential." That console's screwed from day one.
Well, I did mod it so I can play.
The only reason the
Backups.
Saturn was screwed was because,
Ooh.
you know, let's be honest, after the Mega Drive, the 90s, Sega kind of had a habit of releasing stuff, then just go, no, it's not taken off. To the future, and start working on the next console.
Well, I think it was as much the fact that it wasn't fantastic for 3D, you know, and also the fact that, you know, they didn't release a Streets of Rage for it. If there'd been a Streets of Rage port, damn it would have been okay.
I love
Is it,
Streets of Rage.
The rumor, I don't know if it's true, but didn't it, because it's got 2 processors, hasn't it?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I heard the rumor was that the CEO of Sega at the time, this does sound very Sega-ish, someone gave him the specs of the PlayStation 1 and he shat his pants and said, put another processor in it. And that's why it ended up with 2 processors. And
That's what
therefore,
made it so difficult to program
Yeah.
for.
Did it not overheat?
No, mine still works. I've had this thing since the very first launch day back in 1995.
how much was it when it came out?
Here, $400.
It was, I think it was 399 Irish pounds, so it's probably a little bit less UK sterling for you guys.
I do remember the first time I saw Sega Rally running on it, because my brother had one, and obviously on the PlayStation we had proper, you know, tasty transparencies. Yeah, the first time I saw Sega Rally running on it, I asked my brother what was wrong with the car's windscreen. Because it looked like someone had hung a drape in the front of a Lancia Delta. Sip screen.
It was Mexican.
I recently purchased a Saturn myself to add to my collection, and I was showing it to my kids. I said, "What do you think?" And they're like, "Dad, they look like boxes." I was like, and the Saturn goes off.
Yeah.
Dad's playing Minecraft.
Yeah, it's like, Minecraft looks better than this. Don't know what to tell you.
Fill in the gaps with your imagination. Or shut up and I'll buy you a PlayStation for Christmas.
Well, we've got some more comments. RetroUnlim says, Scott, the console snob, is going to be here when he's finished with his apples.
Oh dear God!
Polishing
He's
his
finished with
That's
his
a hidden
apples.
joke.
We'd better not go into that.
Oh sweet Jesus!
He's
Smooth
probably
MJ.
watching, taking notes right now.
He's playing with his apples because he's such a daddy Mac.
Hey,
Hey.
I see what you did there.
See, we
Hello.
bring Scott on, right, because when we have people on from North America, we find the best way to, you know, make them understand what it's like to be British and Irish is just have Scott speak utter profanity for an hour and a half.
No one fucking cares.
Go and
I tell
listen
you
to
what,
his-
that's how we're gonna get a PlayStation for this, you know, this collective that we are. We're just gonna put a swear jar on Scott's channel.
That's really a good
We'll all
idea.
have one.
We could all act like Francis and speak with a lisp and scream at everything and break shit. That might work.
That's how you get the YouTube hits these days.
Yeah, I swear.
Smooth MJ says, Wow, Clint, hey man, best YouTuber on the stream.
Oh, great.
We're all B-list though.
Oh, I'm Z-list, man.
I'm not even on the list.
I'm A-list because I'm the best Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonator around.
Whoever can do the best Arnold impression goes automatically on the A list.
I'm so A-list that I did my maid just to stay in character.
You know, I don't mean to, you know, because obviously adultery, people get hurt and stuff. But the thing is, you know, the kid, you know, his bastard kid, right? How did his wife not? Did it take her that long to twig? It's like when the kid came over. It's just like it was like little mini Arnold.
Hello,
Hey, it's
Baba.
the maid's kid. Hi, how's it going? You know,
Who is
yes, I'll help you move them.
Yeah, the giveaway was he had freakishly large calves.
Who is my daddy, and what does he do?
The funniest thing about that, you know, you said people get hurt in adultery. I think the only person who's ever gotten hurt in adultery is John Wayne Bobbitt. Just because the fact that his wife like snipped off his like gentleman.
I don't think that there was any adultery in that. I think that he was just wanting it too much.
Fair play that they found it, though.
That's true.
I like to think that they used the same technique that Rutger Hauer used to get his sword back in Blind Fury. When he chucked it out the window, he counted backwards.
I think he went into porn after that.
He
I don't
did.
know how, but he
Yeah.
did.
He was
He
on
actually got
Word.
his dick surgically enlarged in a porn film.
What?
And the film was called Frankenweenie.
So is that not a documentary then?
Honestly, Clint, this is a gaming podcast.
Yes. When was the
Occasionally,
last time? When was the last time we talked about games?
We usually end up talking about it after the stream finishes, but we still talk to each other.
Usually that's the point we go, oh, hang on a second, let's talk about
Oh
games.
yeah,
you know.
games! Oh yes. Well, it is RetroUnlim. It's not just to do with the games. It's anything old.
There was I was watching. Oh, awesome!
Oh,
Sexy.
Hang on.
sexy biscuits even.
Yes. I need to
Nice.
patent that catchphrase.
You know what? I have to admit, I was watching a few of your videos, Dave, and every time I see that intro, that sexy biscuits, nice. It always makes me laugh.
I don't know.
Sexy biscuits.
Just a throwaway line from playing video games badly. And every
So
time I
you can
read
see what it
it,
looks like.
yeah, just went, oh, sexy biscuits. And then all of a sudden it infected.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's bigger than all of us.
I need to get Roger from American Dad to promote it, and then it will take over the world.
I'm actually
Oh, sexy biscuits.
scribbling out a couple of my own sexy biscuit intros for you. I'm not going to spoil them though. I'll send them to you when they're done.
Dave, you need to get somebody to bake you some sexy biscuits. Then you can literally go, sexy biscuits.
Yes.
Oh, one of them was hilarious. Where who was it that did it? Where she was like, she had the biscuits all dressed up, and she goes, "Those are some sexy biscuits," and then the next minute she's crying over them. They're dead.
Yeah, because Eddie ate them.
Alright.
More biscuits need bikinis.
You see, in America, biscuits are something else, aren't they?
They're
You dip
savoury,
them-
aren't
They're
they?
savoury.
You dip them in gravy.
They're actually talking about cookies. So
Yes, cookies.
Sexy
Cookies?
Well,
cookies.
it can actually
Sexy
be,
cookies doesn't have the same ring,
Cookies?
if you will.
it can actually be other things too.
Who told you you could eat my cookies?
Cookie. Sorry.
For instance,
One thing that always bothered me about the Cookie Monster, he eats about 1% of the cookie, and the rest just goes flying across the table.
that's because he
Sounds
doesn't
like
actually
my
have a
deal.
throat.
And there's nothing in his mouth is sealed.
Oh, you've just shattered the illusion for thousands of people watching in the stream.
That's what you need. You need the Cookie Monster to do a sexy biscuits.
We need to get the
I
Cookie
don't think
Monster
I have
on
that
this
kind
show.
of pulling power.
Sexy biscuits.
That's because the Cookie Monster smokes a lot of crack before he eats his cookies.
Yeah.
Does he even
Wait,
eat biscuits?
What's
This
the biscuit monster over there? I mean, biscuit monster might have the same ring to it at all.
Oh dear, it's the biscuit monster. Hello, it's the biscuit
Sesame
monster.
Street still on British TV?
I will get together with all of my friends and have some biscuits.
They could call him the Biscuit Beast and have some alliteration
We
going
will
on.
play biscuit.
Sounds like Arnold.
Can anyone else see the elephant now? Or was that still the joke they're running with?
Doctor, no, Mr. Snuffleupagus apparently was seen eventually.
Aha.
I have small children. I've occasionally seen Sesame Street. I haven't seen it much anymore though.
That's just what I
Yeah.
said. Is it even on British
Didn't they
TV?
kill him? Yeah, I think they killed him off. Like, seriously, they had a
dead.
funeral for him, and, like, Big Bird was crying and stuff. It was awful.
What?
That's really
They tried
disturbing.
to, like, teach kids about death. I don't know. I don't know if I was just reading that,
They did
Oh,
that.
Did they kill him off with a hitman? Did they get a hitman or chlamydia or what?
Must
I
have
think
been a
it was-
big plot.
Did they do any EastEnders and just gave him HIV or had him burned down in the Vic?
Yeah. Snuffleupagus got popped and
There
fell
was
in
a
a canal.
There was a Snuffleupagus video. He was
I
killed
can't
in it.
believe that. Kids don't need to know about death. That's what adulthood's for.
And video
Well, they do it in
games.
Japan all the time, don't they? With like the Japanese series, like in when I was watching the Sentai series, which is their version of Power Rangers, they actually killed off the Green Ranger. They literally just killed the guy off, and they're like,
I wish they'd kill off
reason
the
we did that-
franchise, to be honest.
We
Amen.
wanted the kids to learn about death.
Die,
It's a
die,
multi-billion
Power Rangers.
dollar franchise, isn't it?
But
They
hold on a
make
minute. Don't dinosaurs and all sorts of weird things get killed every week in the Power Rangers?
not really.
I like the fact that they wear cloth uniforms, but when someone hits it, sparks come off them.
Yeah, Jason David Frank
It's
actually made a
Kevlar.
joke about that, where he was at one of the cons and they were saying to him, "Do you, when you get into fights, like when you do the MMA stuff, do you keep thinking why guys aren't sparking?" And he's like, he made a joke where he's beating on a guy and he goes, "Just spark, spark! Why aren't you sparking?"
Because they're all robots from the future.
Isn't they got It's like, even though it's not music, but the motif or the way they do Power Rangers is basically the ultimate sort of American Idol-esque band thing, which is the minute any of them start to get slightly popular or big following, they just fire them and replace them as a ranger.
Yes.
It's like
Now
a Korean pop group.
they, because of the issues that happened with the first series, where they ended up having to replace people, I think it was Disney it was Saban that did it before Disney decided to do the same thing, which was they would end the series and then the next season would be a whole new series. What Saban's doing at the moment, they do 2 seasons now, so because they moved it to Nickelodeon. Each series is comprised of 22 episodes, which are fit into 2 seasons.
Well, and then they reboot the franchise again and come
And
up
then
with
they reboot it again with a whole new set of people.
Nice. Saban, sort your shit out. Just plug it.
But they're so cheap as well. Apparently, they're doing a thing called the based on the Sentai. What they're doing is they're doing a Power Rangers sort of reunion episode where they're bringing all the Rangers back. Unless
Raising
you
them
work
from
for
the
Disney. They bring
Snuffleupagus will be there as well.
everybody back. But it's called the Ranger War. And they wanted people to come to the location in New Zealand and pay for it themselves. They didn't want to pay for people.
They could have just got local people to do it.
No, they
What I
wanted
like
all
about
the original Rangers
Power
back.
Rangers series,
Oh.
which
Yeah,
is
but
you
they
can
wore
tell-
costumes. They
They're
could
like,
all wear
oh,
costumes the whole time, so you wouldn't
That-
know.
Yeah, at
Some
first it was like they were
Massively
gonna-
fat guy that's the Green Ranger.
Yeah,
Well,
that
at first they
won't
were gonna
work
bring, like,
because
the
I
Elvis
think they tried
Ranger.
it here.
Yeah, because they're
They had,
doing
like, some overweight dudes.
what they were doing was they
Pulling spandex
moved,
out their ass crack.
they moved everything to New Zealand, so that the majority of actors they get for the series now aren't even American; they're New Zealand actors.
The hobbits.
Yeah, and basically they brought a certain amount back and said, okay, we want to bring this person back and this person. Everyone negotiated. Everybody else are like, yeah, if you wanna do this, we'll bring you back. We're not paying you, and you got to fly yourself over. And the
They're
amount
probably so
of
desperate they would, though, wouldn't they?
it's just ridiculous. Though.
That's what their careers still are.
They
I always
made
liked the original
billions.
series because you could tell the difference in the quality of the footage from the stuff they recycled from, the original series to the stuff that was shot in the American series. Because all
That
the original
always
series footage
confused
was
me as a kid.
Yeah.
It was like,
It was always
why does this look so
overcast.
old? Yeah.
it was like we used to go from beautiful, brilliant sunshine into overcast urban landscape.
Yeah, I love it where every time they had a fight, it was always in a desert somewhere.
Well, it's better than when they had it, because you think about it, this is what makes me laugh. They're supposed to be these amazing people who are out to save the innocent and protect them, but they got no problem fucking throwing down in 25-foot tall robots and just smashing into buildings that would have people in them.
Yeah, they were actually
That
saying
was-
that Angel Grove must have the highest insurance premium ever.
Angel City was always rebuilt by the next episode. I'm like, how do they get those skyscrapers back up so fast? I mean,
They're unionized.
But you
Yeah,
see,
it's
if you have
awesome.
those
Very
guys and
interesting about that.
See, if I was loaded, though, right, I'd have a perfect set of the city built, right, and buy myself one of those suits and then just run around it smashing shit up.
Chile have just scored a game, by the way. It's now
Oh
2-0.
my...
And the game's over. There's 90 seconds remaining, and it's 2-0 to Chile.
And we're shit.
so Chile has been very hot and spicy.
Indeed,
Hang your head in shame, England players.
I'm actually
Why?
not
They
bothered about
they
this.
should sit there and go, okay, so we lost again. Yeah. Another day at the
I'm
job.
bothered about it because it's a World Cup year next year, and we're going to get absolutely ass spanked sideways.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They're getting paid too much money. This is the
Don't
problem.
get paid to play for England.
This is not the England first team, though. I don't even know who that bloke is in the net, to be honest with you.
I think he just came on. He's the guy from the Mars bar advert.
He
Oh,
just
yes.
came, he just walked in off the street.
Yeah. Wembley security is a little lax.
Oh, that's incidentally how Wigan Athletics select their players. You just walk around the
Open
stadium.
casting.
Would you like to come and play for us?
They just put an advert in the newspaper asking any Power Rangers, but they had to buy their own kit.
Oh, and Chile could have nearly scored again there.
I know. You just get the impression that everyone has just given up.
Oh, who cares? It's only a friendly.
I paid 35 quid for this.
Sanchez got both goals.
Go on, get something.
Rooney's
Ooh.
on the ball now, currently.
It's to quote my dad when he watches football, I could do better than that.
My grandmother can do better than that, and she's dead.
My grandmother's in the first 11. And she's dead as well. Anyway, steering us rapidly back onto video games.
Yes.
Oh, Roy Hodgson. Oh, someone give him a hug. He just looks so desolate.
Is that the full-time whistle now? No.
I would turn
that
it
will
up,
be
but I
now,
don't want
no?
to get... Yeah, I
Yep,
would turn it
that
up,
is
but
the
if
full-time
Scott tries
whistle.
to get us flagged for copyright.
Yep, that is the full-time whistle, so I'm going to switch that off. Ladies and gentlemen, England have lost 2-0 to Chile.
I now
I'll be
turn the
back,
channel
guys.
over to Dave. For those of you
And
in
hear about
North
more
America, there is a
chat
TV channel in this country called Dave.
Yes.
I love Dave.
And it screens
Poor
nothing
Dave.
but Top Gear, so it's amazing.
Sounds pretty awesome, actually.
More
I'll be
TV
back, guys.
channels should just have back-to-back episodes of Top Gear.
Yes, but the problem with the episodes of Top Gear on Dave, they're cut down. For example, the Polar Expedition episode where they go to the North Pole, I believe it is, and they start drinking because there's no laws against drink driving there. That
Yeah,
bit has
didn't
been
they
cut
cut that out?
But
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was cut out
Sorry.
for some of the streaming versions too on certain websites. So.
The thing is, though, right, if you watch an episode of Top Gear on Dave and you've not watched it back-to-back with the original BBC version, even though it's 15 minutes shorter, you can't actually recall what's been taken away. It's lots of Richard Hammond just being a dick, I reckon.
Right. No. Yes. Come on. Yes. No.
Wait, Richard Hammond being a dick? Don't you mean Jeremy Clarkson being a dick?
No, Jeremy Clarkson is the voice of a generation. James
He's an
May's the
honest
quintessential English bloke who invents stuff in his shed, and Richard Hammond is just a glory whore.
Well, yeah, I nearly died. Fuck you lot. I'm famous because I nearly died.
I have the Top Gear annual somewhere. I'll go and see if I can dig it out.
You could, yeah, you should read from it at length while making
Dig it
car
out like a
noises.
booger.
I hope Top Gear never ends. Literally, I want a 24-hour-long episode.
So
With
what's
pee
everyone?
breaks, obviously.
What's everyone like looking forward to in this generation of gaming? Oh, did you hear? Apparently, there's rumors going around that if the Nintendo doesn't sell more units of the Wii U by 2015, we may not see the console ever again. They may discontinue it. What do you guys think? Rumor or do you think
Dreamcasty.
Ooh.
that's true, or do you think that's a rumor? Because from what I
Nintendo usually pretty good at turning stuff around, though, aren't they? I mean, granted, they are.
to be.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, right? I was because obviously you can't buy Wii U games in the high street for some reason, which annoys me. So I've been under the illusion that there are, very, very few Wii U games. I actually went on Amazon the other day and was quite surprised at how many there are on there.
You know what? I'm going to end that debate quickly because I'm going to show you how many Wii U games I actually have. Let me take my headset out.
Put it this way, right? If I knew that Call of Duty Ghost was on it, I would have bought it on that.
Yeah, no, and I've had a friend of mine who did a comparison between the Xbox 360 versions and the Wii U version, and the Wii U version is actually more crisp.
Is it?
It looks like
That's
a
my
PS4.
entire collection of Wii U games.
A very impressive selection. And they're all rented games.
There's my entire collection.
I can show you mine right now.
Batman, Arkham City Armored Edition, Skylanders Giants, Rabbids Land, Super Mario Brothers U, including Super Luigi on that as well.
That's
Injustice,
brilliant, that game.
Gods Among
How
Us.
superfluous.
Sonic Races Transformed.
Well, you
The
beat me.
Avengers game.
What Sonic Racists?
Sonic Races. Sonic and the Third Reich.
Autobots, roll out and attack Mexicans.
Tank.
You have to take down G.I. Jose first, and then they will fall into disarray.
GI1.
Assassin's Creed, the Americans raped our land. Darksiders 2.
You only pretty much he owns the entire catalogue for it then.
Yeah,
That's most of them.
Nintendo alive right now.
Pre-catalog, basically.
See, my problem with the Wii U, I had it for about a week. I got it and tested it out. I played through Zombie U and Nintendo Land. And then I was like, well, what else is coming out for it? Well, there's all these games that are coming out on other systems that I already have and have more friends on. And then there's one or two first-party titles that I'm interested in. Maybe. I mean, there was like the new Donkey Kong Country, and that was it. The rest of them I could pass for the next like 2 years. I was at E3 and looked at all their upcoming stuff, and I'm like, I don't really care. So I sold it when I got back from E3 because there was nothing on the horizon that could justify having a $400 paperweight.
And that's the problem at the moment with the PS4. I actually foresee the same issue because as soon as they announced a slew of games with it, and I was like, okay, I'm buying Infamous Second Son with that. Yeah, that's not available on launch. Okay.
Same thing with Watch Dogs, same thing with Drive Club, all these games I was interested in on it that were at E3 that I tried. I'm like, yes, I need to try this when it comes out. Can't because it's not coming out until next year. So
Is it like an unwritten law of the universe or something that launch has to always be screwed up, regardless of who makes it and what the console is?
yes.
But what made me laugh, I walked into game and I was like, I'd like to cancel my PS4 pre-order. And the guy was just like, well, there was plenty of games on it. And I was like, what do you mean? Well, digitally, there's plenty of games on it. I'm not interested in the digital titles. Yeah, I want the physical games. And he went, You go,
one of those, are you?
yeah, he just looked at me, his head, his mouth sort of drooped, and he went, just bring your receipt back, and we'll cancel the pre-order and give you the 20 quid back in credit.
Just looked at you like an old man because you wanted a physical copy. He just looked you up and down like that and just went, one of those people that wants a physical copy. I know,
Yeah, I was just
weird.
like, I just looked at him and I was just like, I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna, because he was trying to persuade me as well to like buy the console. I was just like, no, I'm
This is
not
what I
buying
like
it
best.
for Killzone. I don't want a
And this
Killzone
obviously is
paperweight.
EA, but let's look at the manual for Battlefield, shall we? Oh, look at that. It's 4 pages. Then let's look at the manual.
Well, to be fair, it is a very simple game. All you do is run around and shoot people.
Yeah. Press
And
this
let's look at
button
the
to
manual
shoot.
for that. I know it's a cliche, but I want manuals. I don't even read them, but I still want them.
Well, yeah, I mean, take comparison to how EA used to be. I mean, we have Road Rash here on the Amiga, and this is a simple game. You don't need much even about it, but yet the manual, it's like there's plenty here.
That manual looks like you could be reading that for years.
There's so much stuff in here. I mean, it tells you every single little thing,
Whoa.
detailed stuff about every feature of the game. I mean, it's like, why do you need a whole paragraph on your rear view mirror? You don't. But
Oh,
it's there.
cool.
Guys, I don't know if you can see
Can
this.
you
It's from
can you
your
read an
front.
excerpt from that for us? For example, for the rear view mirror.
For the
You
rear
touch
view
that cold,
mirror.
Yes.
hard bosom.
These are your
Cold
different
hard
control
bosom.
methods, Road Rash, blah, blah, blah. These let you see what's coming up in the way of cops and cars and opponents, can tell you what to avoid, so your bike is treated like a pristine model of engineering. It really is. So, I mean, yeah, totally not necessary at all, but it's just great. I love old
I
manuals.
can't find my Madden, but the original Madden on the Mega Drive, because it's got every language from Europe in there, it's pretty much the yellow pages.
That's
the manual.
thick.
There it is.
This,
What's
sorry, I was
this?
just gonna say this. I am actually qualified to fly an Apache AH-64A gunship after
Look at
reading
that.
because it's This is only in English, right? It's everything. It's like specs. It's it's like
50 Shades of Apache.
Tom Clancy wanked over this, right?
And that's why he's dead.
Yeah, pretty much. He ran out of fluids.
No, see, look at this, right? This is the Madden original manual. If I'm ever short of a brick to throw through someone's window, I can just double up with this instead.
Simulators seem to be the big thing about that. Like, this is Comanche for DOS, and this thing. I mean, for one thing, just look at this box. I mean, why is it even shaped like that? I don't know, but it's wonderful. I mean, it comes open like supposedly like the Comanche's cockpit, So it comes open like that, and then inside you get all the discs and everything, and then there's like this manila envelope, and inside is so much stuff. I mean, there's a whole keyboard overlay
I like
thing.
the fact that it came with an envelope.
Yes.
Yeah, this manual that's
These are your
approximately
orders.
150 pages. Wow, there's actually still the receipt in here.
Oh,
And
what's the date on that?
A certified letter from the United States government.
The date on this is, let's see, February 7th, 1993, and the price was $79.99 US dollars.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
That receipt is in surprisingly good condition.
It is actually.
I have a theory, right, that in the 80s, because you remember how big all games were in the 80s, the boxes, they were the big, like the Robocop box and stuff, those big cardboard boxes. My theory was that there was a surplus of cardboard in the 80s in the United Kingdom, so the only way they could trim their surplus down was just to oversized game cases. Because you used to get this absolutely huge box, and then they had to make a special insert for it to stop the tape rattling around. Why don't they just use a standard cassette tape box? Then, having said that, I mean, I did like them back in the day.
I remember my Amiga 500 games used to have this huge boxes that contain these huge manuals and some small discs, and you're just sitting there with it. I swear these companies were like chopping trees down like it was no tomorrow. Probably had like some big musty Arnold Schwarzenegger like men just chopping down trees.
That's where global warming came from. We're paying the price now.
Here's Leander for the Amiga, and there's no reason for it to be that big. I mean,
it's
seriously.
bigger than your head.
Yes, it's massive, and
it
yeah,
looks like a vinyl artwork box thing.
It does. It's a bit thicker, but yeah, I mean, and inside you've got what? Some discs and a basic manual, and of course the cool Psygnosis logo. But just that. I mean, that's all that's inside there.
Actually, I had that, but the Mega Drive port. It was Galahad. They renamed it Galahad for the Genesis.
Yep.
But it's a great game. But the boxes were huge back then. But that gave you value. You know, I mean, you could only fit 2 games on a shelf. But
it gave you a source of fuel in the winter when it was
exactly. Cold. Small children, when it didn't load, you could get into the box and pretend it was a car or something. Play with the box is more fun.
Something to do when you get an R-tape loading error.
Ah, yes.
Don't you mean syntax error already?
Do you know what I used to love it when you used to get an R-tape loading error was if you typed list, you could see all the code previously. It literally told you the point it broke down at. And then you'd adjust the heads on your telephone, not adjust the heads on your cassette recorder and try again.
Well, imagine if you could do that with the PS4.
Yeah.
Well, imagine loading the games from tape. It'd, take weeks.
I'm still waiting for the tape loader for the PS4 before I make that plunge.
Yeah. I'm waiting for a micro drive.
You end up getting a server for it. Just stand there, you got the PS4 and this huge server next to it.
I am the only person in the world that owns a PS4. Would you like to play against me?
It's like that episode of Family Guy, isn't it? Where he goes, "Congratulations, we've just invented the telephone." Well, yeah, someone called me earlier on today. And the thing is, well, you've got one, and I've got one. And they said some pretty sort of, out there things.
Yes, I know the episode you're talking about. But we have a request for Clint here.
Okay.
Smooth MJ asks, can you do your Duke Nukem voice? Duke Nukem voice.
Why, yes, I can. What would you like me to say?
Shake it, baby.
The bubblegum thing.
Baby. It's time to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gum.
You reckon we're winning a fight between Duke Nukem and Bruce Campbell?
I don't know. They would have the same lines, so...
Yeah.
Well, who'd win in a fight between Schwarzenegger and Nukem?
Probably Duke. I would have to say Duke.
No,
Yeah.
definitely Arnold. Arnold always wins. I always win.
You banged your nanny and you lost everything.
I need to know
banged
now
your
that we're going to
nanny
get
in
Army
game
of Darkness
Mega
2. Has anyone seen what sort of shape Bruce Campbell is in right now?
Same as Arnold.
Because I got to say, not disrespect him because the guy's a legend, but in Burn Notice, he's a little bit paunchy.
Fairness,
Yeah.
He's in
Well,
his,
round is a shape, so he is in a shape, but he's
Because I'm
round.
curious as to how he's going to be in the new Army of Darkness that was just announced. So,
Apparently, he says that was a bunch of waffle. That
Oh,
was
really?
not true. Yeah.
Aw.
He goes that people need to stop looking at the internet, and I was just like, that's a great way to talk to your fans, Bruce. Brilliant.
seriously though.
Apparently, he's been a dick to people recently as well.
Doesn't he
I love Bruce Campbell.
He does as many conventions as he can, and the unwritten rule is you don't approach him in public because he does all the conventions.
Yeah.
That sounds about
apparently,
right.
a friend of mine approached him during a convention. He was just like, he wouldn't even talk to the guy. He would just sign his thing and then make him move on. And I've been to these like comic books signings and stuff like that, and I find it's not the celebrity that's being the jackass; it's the company that's holding the sign-in themselves. Because they want to
Agents
get
and whatnot.
Yeah, they want to get as many people in as possible, so they'll throw everybody in there, and they're like, "Don't talk to them, don't touch them."
Don't talk to me!
Yeah, if you want a picture, you can take one picture and then go. Because I remember I went with a friend of mine to a book signing, and I went there and I asked him to sign a certain name. You can't do that! And I was like, whoa, okay, calm down. And the celeb was sitting there going, no, it's fine, I'll sign it. I'll sign it. Whose name? I was like, can you sign this person's name? She signed it, it was fine. You know, and it was just like...
I'd like to go up to Bruce Campbell when he's signing and just go, dude, I totally loved you in Universal Soldier.
No, you go up to him and say, I loved your meatballs and your soup.
I loved you in Maniac Cop when you died.
Oh, Maniac Cop! Oh,
I loved it when you were a central defender for England.
I love your soup.
yeah.
You know, it's funny. I find a lot of people from this last generation know Bruce Campbell pretty much only because of his role as the narrator in Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think, on the PS1.
God, he's really good in that, though.
He is, though.
But there's a game he did, Tacky on the Fringe, and it was a PC game, so it probably wasn't as well known. But he was a central character in it, and he did some amazing voice work in it. And that thing he does where like he's in character and it's great, but at the same time he's still Bruce Campbell basically, you know. And it's such a good game. But the Spider-Man, those games are worth playing solely for the intro with him doing the narration. It's fantastic.
The tutorials.
Oh, what happened? Did someone just die? You okay?
Yay!
So I hate Tobey Maguire's performance as Peter Parker. It's hilarious.
$2.99. I feel that was money well spent.
Indeed, good sir.
Especially since the bad guy's the bloke who dies at the start of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, you know what actually made me laugh? There was an episode of I think it was How I Met Your Mother. No, was it The Big Bang? No, Big Bang Theory, where she says, "Do you know that Raiders of the Lost Ark could happen without Indiana Jones? If he wasn't in it, the result would have been the same." And you just see all the guys just sitting there and they're thinking about it and they're going, "She's right. She just ruined the movie." Because the way that everything's laid out, it's like without Indy, they still would have gotten to the end and they still would have basically have died.
It's a little bit.
So he wasn't really needed.
That's kind of true, actually. How sad.
You know what wasn't really needed? Crystal Skull.
Oh God. Shia LaBeouf. That's
Shia
all I'm
LaBeouf
saying.
and monkeys.
Yeah, it's just.
Shoulder.
Refrigerators.
They should have made
refrigerators.
They should have made
nuclear refrigerators.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know a refrigerator could like withstand a nuclear
Well, I thought about it. The thing is, I thought about it. Right? I probably can't. But because he drank the Holy Grail in a... and then I realised I didn't fucking care because I hated Crystal Skull and I didn't want to think about it anymore.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it up to the point they introduced Shia LaBeouf.
It's like a lot of films, really. Quite often people
I enjoyed it up to the bit you saw the first prairie dog.
That first prairie dog. The fact that there were more than one.
That was during the intro, wasn't it? During the credits.
Yeah. Right in the credits. It's like the first thing you see is a prairie dog and people running around in a 50s car, and then another prairie dog.
They should have made Fate of Atlantis, you know, the point-and-click adventure. They should have made that, and they should have made it in like 1993.
That would have been perfect.
Because Fate of Atlantis is just like, well, the old LucasArts point-and-click
Yeah.
adventures is just so well fleshed out, and it's
Still
hidden
waiting
in
on the Monkey Island movie. What happened? I mean, come on now. Disney owns that now. They do pirate stuff anyway.
Jim Henson Muppets.
It would be perfect. That would be awesome.
Let's have a Kickstarter right
Yes, let's go and do it. Go and set it up right now.
Do
what
you
was the,
know that they actually have the Fate of Atlantis on I believe it's the Wii version?
now. Yeah, it's hidden in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All you have to do to unlock it is find the first like golden head. You know, the things you collect as bonuses. It's literally
Yeah.
in the tutorial level. You just burn some spider webs, pick it up, and that's it. You unlock it.
That
Or
is
you could
awesome.
run Scum on your Wii and do it that way.
Well, that sounded a bit wrong. Run Scum on your Wii.
Yeah, that's the LucasArts.
Run
system.
it right over it.
Not
Because that's what I got.
the prison
that's why I
movie.
played Monkey
I'm
Island.
the daddy now.
It's brilliant though when you think. When I first found out like they did that, and it was just brilliant because this is pretty much, you know, all intents and purposes a mouse clicker. So
Well, actually, it looks like one of those things that you stick up your buttocks.
I don't know
Show
what
it us again.
it's a Wiimote. I don't know what you
You
do
have
at
to
your
pay
toilet
the
time.
that you do with a Wiimote, Yak.
I don't own any Wiimotes.
No wonder his channel's so popular.
He does own the other thing.
Hey, what was it?
If I ever go to your house and there's a Wii there, I'm certainly not touching the moat.
Nope.
Um,
Make sure it has the little condom sleeve on it because.
So Yak, where is your Wii remote? Just got to go to the toilet.
was it the Dreamcast that had the?
Just going like that at his house and just going.
There was a.
Oh, I know.
Okay, hell, Rez had this vibration thing.
The trance vibrator.
Yeah,
Yes.
the people tended to, you know, really dwell on the vibration part of it as opposed to the trance part
It
of
was
it.
made to appeal to women audiences, actually, in Japan.
I could see the logic just going straight to the fucking point. Will we do it in pink? No, fucking vibrators, right?
That's just wrong. I wonder how well it's sold.
Yeah, you can only buy them second hand now.
Was it Top Gear where they said there's that thing that the seat vibrates when you go onto the you know the things on the hard
Rumble-
shoulder that
Not rumble
the
strips.
rumble strips. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So and the Clarkson just said he just
Oh.
could just see the women would just drive down the hard shoulder continuously when they had that new Vauxhall.
Oh, you
Or they
could
could just get a vibrator. Or they could just get a
Yeah.
Wii
sit on
remote.
top. Sit on
Sorry,
top of
podcast land, for being awfully chauvinistic right there.
Indeed.
sit on top of a tumble dryer. Right. Speaking of gear, we have some things that you may not know about the Stig here. Did you know that the Stig's older brother is called Phil? And that during the 1970s, the Stig enjoyed a brief stint as a nude model. And that's taken from the Big Book of Top Gear 2010. Well, didn't know it was that old. And you
Go
can
to page
Nude
14.
model. If he was a nude model, could you still see his helmet? Or...
Harry, go to page 14
Oh,
and,
14.
and read the third word in.
What? Do you have the same thing?
No, I just want to know what the third word was.
Third word in. The.
Stick.
It is.
Oh.
It's the. It says, hidden behind the long grass at the very furthest extreme of the old airfield was Stig's destination, a private jet. Oh, what? Come on! These haven't been bloody invented yet. This story is becoming extremely unrealist.
Did you know if Stig and Chuck Norris got into a fight, the Stig
Here we go
would win?
again.
The Stig would win.
My money's on Stig. Mainly because he's wearing a helmet, and even though Chuck Norris can roundhouse pretty fucking hard, I'd imagine that helmet is quite a viable form of defense.
I guess, excuse me, I'd go for Stig as well because he's actually several people apparently. So
Who's the
it's
better
like
driver?
having, it's like having a couple of lives, you know.
Do you think
Who's the better
Stig ever
driver,
suffered
Stig or Michael
stigmata?
Knight? I heard that if Stig, right, got into Kit, you just heard him go, How disturbing would that be, mind you? If you go, was it the voice of Feeney from Boy Meets World?
Yes.
But imagine that, you just sit on this car, and as soon as you get in, the car just goes,
Tag me, Michael.
Hello, Michael. It's like, oh, creepy. Be good though, wouldn't it? You could just get him bladdered and just go, fucking drive me home,
I
kid.
love you inside me, Michael.
Well, did you hear about this thing where they did a poll recently on drivers that said 80% of drivers would actually prefer driverless, computerized, self-driving cars if your insurance was cut down, like, significantly. They would completely switch over and never drive a car again.
Wouldn't
I don't
that
even-
be-
You would trust Google to drive your car?
I know. It's like, would you even?
I mean, they fucked YouTube up. Why would you trust them to drive your car?
I don't know.
You pull up. Does that mean if Google
This isn't
drove
my
your
house.
car, right? If you parked your car in front of anything that was recognised as a brand, would it get a
Yeah.
copyright strike?
Well, it's got cameras on the car, maybe. Yeah, you're recording third-party material just by driving. So.
Do you remember, there's a village over here. Did anyone else hear this? That when Google sent their cars out mapping the road, everyone in the village formed a circle around their village and held hands, seriously, to stop Google entering it and recording their village and putting it on Google Maps.
And stealing their souls.
And did they succeed?
No,
No, it just ran them over.
There was a Google car that got attacked recently in a German village because they were so against the anti-privacy things or something. They actually went out and attacked the car with like pitchforks or something.
Good. Nice.
And this is that village in Germany. As you're going down the road, the image starts to turn a little bit until it's completely over.
I just got this image of angry people with pitchforks and lederhosens.
Were they the only gays in the
Did
village?
you what was the other one?
Sorry, I don't know if you can see this, but this is, like, bear in mind Google are based in Ireland. This is what tended to happen a lot in
That's why
Ireland.
they don't pay tax in the UK, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, basically there was an awful lot of people mooning. It's, they didn't even, got to the stage they weren't even bothering blurring them out on Street View.
Bob, I can't see this right
I
now.
think that Google's censoring you.
Oh no, it's not showing, is it? Damn, hang on, let me try this again. Damn you, screen share. Why will you not work?
Why don't you give it to Yak and let Yak show it?
Good idea.
Who's this Yack bloke you speak of?
I don't know, but some say.
Some say.
Some say he's Chuck Norris.
It's actually the Stig.
Did you hear that they wanted to relocate, didn't
Try
they?
that link
Because-
there in the chat.
What are they going to relocate to?
I don't know, but everyone, this is kind of like the Google thing, the Google car. Everyone in the area they were going to relocate to, because it was like a little village, and there was another sort of runway track on the outskirts of it, got together and stopped them doing it. I'm like, you selfish bastards! Top Gear, please come to my town, just so I can stand on the fence and watch. Why would you not?
Oh, fucking stuff!
What the hell?
Say,
Who the hell is that?
it's me, you fuck up. Right, I'll be on in 2 minutes.
And the swearing begins.
You know what else you need to be on when you come in? Possibly a light.
And pants.
Yeah,
Trousers,
pants.
trousers,
We
a full
don't
trousers
want
down.
to see little snob.
Oh, what's he doing?
Oh, sweet Jesus.
He's taking
Have
his
it again.
pants off. Oh, jeez, just in time.
Yeah,
Oh.
see, Scott, when Scott enters the live stream, he likes to do it pantless. He finds, it's better airflow.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah, it's alright though, because he's like a newsreader. You never get to see below here.
Did you ever see that outtake special where the newsreader gets up and is actually wearing no pants at all?
That would be me. If I was in a newsroom, I'd just sit there without the pants.
Same. I do most of my reviews without pants. People
I'm
are
doing it right
surprised when
now.
I say
so,
that. I know, right? So-
My pants are purely CG.
I've been flogging for the past 5 minutes.
In Britain, there is a show called Flog It.
Does that mean, Clint, you could put Lazy Game Reviews, the home of the pantless blogger?
I very well could. That sounds like a good idea.
We should unionize this. We should form like our own network, and the condition to be on our network is you have to vlog pantless. Because that's where you put your commercials.
The No Pants Network.
You could call them the commercial jewels.
Oh, the Commandos.
Yes.
So you'd say, now a word from our sponsor. Bend over and talk with your ass cheeks the way Jim Carrey does.
Something
This
smells
message
fishy
brought
in
to you
here.
by Google.
Best cover of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang ever, Ace Ventura 2.
Nobody want to come and play with me. Chicago.
Where's Anchorman now? I know we asked this last week, but I keep forgetting to commit it to... I know it's not Jim Carrey. Commit it to memory. It's December, isn't it?
Yes, we still need to go and see it.
Yes. Have you seen the unofficial sequel?
No, oh, what?
Wake Up, Ron
Wake
Burgundy.
Up, Ron Burgundy.
It's
Yeah,
made
apparently that's a
entirely out of
recut of the
outtakes.
first one, isn't it?
Yeah. It's actually pretty good, though. Especially the bit where Steve Carell eats what he thinks is a wrap, but it's actually a coffee filter with cigarette butts in because he took it out of the garbage, thinking
Oh.
smorgasbord.
What?
He goes, this wrap's gone off. That's not a wrap, that's a coffee filter with cigarette butts.
Well, we've got some more contributions from Smooth MJ. He says, a question for Clint. What is the worst game you've ever played? Have you reviewed it? And if not, are you going to? Smiley face.
Worst game I've ever played is Big Rigs Over the Road Racing, by far. It doesn't work. Not a single thing works.
Have you made a video of it, I should say?
I have. I've put it in my worst PC games of all time list, but I have not actually made a full video of it because I do not have the heart. It's just so broken that I cannot play it.
Thank you.
Although I was recently playing Miami Vice for the PC, and my word, that's one of the most broken things I've ever seen.
Was it made by Ocean?
It's actually made by Capstone Software, so I don't know if it ever came overseas or not. It might have.
There was a Miami Vice game on Spectrum, Commodore, and Amstrad, but that was made by Ocean.
There was.
And
this is actually somewhat similar to that from what I gather.
I tried playing it on emulation a couple of months ago, and I just couldn't get my head around getting the car to do anything on the driving
Oh
bit.
man, well there wasn't even a car. In this one it was 3 guys trying to get up these platforms, but you couldn't. They don't
I like the
move.
fact that if you go back to the TV show, what was it? Was it Tubbs? He's a police officer on a regular salary, and he got one of the rarest Ferraris in the world.
Yeah.
How?
He is actually the Stig.
Actually, he's a pimp. So what he does, he just gets random hookers and sells them off for profit.
That's a lot of hookers.
Source for this?
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia, yes.
Wikipedia.
It's funny though because what was it? I wasn't. Maybe I really liked it because I wasn't supposed to watch it, and so I did actually really like Miami Vice back in the day. But then all of a sudden, does anyone else remember that was pretty much the highlight of his career? And every show he did after that was just utter bollocks. Do you remember Nash Bridges?
Yes, I remember that. Stone Cold Steve Austin was in that.
Was he?
For one episode, yeah. And
That was probably the highlight of the run.
They wanted to give him a spin-off series for himself as well, and he rejected it because he didn't want to do it.
Didn't want to be affiliated with anything to do with Don Johnson.
Probably, yeah.
The man who didn't wear socks while on police work.
Guys, I gotta go babysitting. I shall see you later. It was a pleasure talking to you all, but I gotta run.
Later,
Yeah,
Bob.
dude.
All right,
Thank
see
you,
you
Bob.
later.
Thank you very much.
Google have just repossessed his house.
Oh dear. Well, that's what you get for putting up copyrighted material, my friends.
Yes.
Yeah, we own your ass.
Clint, where do you stand on this
Because we're good.
supposedly, massive change to copyright on November the 18th?
I honestly haven't seen anything about it that's concrete enough to have an opinion. So it seems like a lot of hearsay at this point, unless there's something else that came out in between, the last week. It was probably about a week ago that I saw it. I know the network that I'm on, Maker Studios on YouTube, they haven't said anything about it. So
Mustn't be
I don't even
important.
know. I guess not. It's not even a big deal. They have said stuff about the comments section. In fact, they sent out a little memo recently saying about all the problems that were on there, and it's just like, wow, thanks for saying that there's problems but not doing anything yet. Wow.
Is it just me, or did I have a fit?
I'll wake you fuckers up. How you doing?
Not bad. Put two quid in the swear jar.
Sorry, a little bit late. My fucking Tesco van delivery thing decided to be late, so...
Tesco bag deliveries. I didn't know they deliver bags.
No, you prick. My fucking shopping.
And to those of you in North America right now, you thought I was exaggerating about Captain Pottymouth.
Oh no, I've watched the other podcasts.
We were just saying, Scott, your plan, right, to get PlayStations for Christmas. We're going to put a swear jar on your channel.
Yeah, PS4 by Christmas.
We were going to get an Xbox, but no one wants one of them because they're shit.
Too late, I've already bought one.
You bought an Xbox?
Aye. So yeah.
And an awkward silence befell the street.
What game did you get with it?
Pre-ordered with Forza, Dead Rising 3, and Call of Duty Ghosts.
I thought you weren't a fan of racing games, Scott.
I'm not. They come free with the fucking consoles.
Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough. If it's for free.
I can tell you one thing though. Even though I don't like the Forza games in general, it looked so sexy when I was playing it.
Do you know what I love about the Forza gameplay mechanic? It's just the rewind function is genius.
It really is, especially with those lengthy races, 20 minutes, and then the last lap you screw up, and it's like, well, you know what? I don't have to be punished for this. Rewind.
Yeah, because people always go, oh, but it'll make the game incredibly easy. It's like, no, it doesn't. It just, as you said, it just basically tips its hat to you and says, congratulations on all previous 19 laps. Now you don't have to do them again. Although I did get a little bit anal about it, and it got to the point where I was just trying to trim seconds off going around a corner.
So do you get as many rewinds as you like, or do you accrue them? For doing, say, a good lap, you get 5 seconds of rewind
I think
time?
it depends on difficulty level as well.
It does depend, yeah. Sometimes, and it takes away some experience and money, too, if you use it, so there are penalties for it. And it also doesn't count your lap times. So, yeah. Or it doesn't record them to the overall. It puts them in your leaderboard, but not the online leaderboard. So, but otherwise,
the last one I played was, what was it? Which was the one that had Jerry... I don't know if they did it in North America, but we had Jeremy Clarkson do some of the audio.
Forza 4. Forza had Jeremy Clarkson. Forza 5 is actually going to have all 3 of the Top Gear presenters. So
what? Why?
That might have actually taught me into buying an Xbox.
Honestly, this is the one game that has me the most intrigued about the system, is because full Top Gear integration this time and a lot of stuff like that. I mean, it just looked really good too.
Well,
played really well at E3.
That's why me personally, after a while of contemplating, what will I play on launch day? It would have to be Xbox games, because the PS4, the only game that I could find myself playing to death would be Killzone. But I got 3 other Killzone games to get through before I get the 4th one.
Same here.
If it has James May saying cock, then I'll buy it.
Oh, it could just pop up and he'll say hello, and that'll be all. That's all I need.
Yeah.
It's like I used to have a videotape of Jeremy Clarkson's motor tape, Motor Racing Madness, and basically it was just 25 minutes of footage interspersed with about 30 seconds of Jeremy Clarkson saying, and here's some more footage of cars crashing.
Yeah. When he does his DVDs for Christmas every year, it actually plugs the track, that really pointless, horrible, elevator music bit of rock guitar, and it actually says it on the back as if it was a special feature.
Yeah.
If you go into a cash converter and you see any Jeremy Clarkson DVD, like Heaven and Hell and all those ones, seriously, flip it over and you'll see it on the back, and it goes featuring, and you're like, but that's not even real music.
Featuring elevator music that you'll find in any old elevator.
Yeah, it's not like a Gymkhana video where I actually have bands. They basically treat those sort of videos like skateboarding videos, so you always get some cool stuff. But yeah, Jeremy Clarkson stuff, nope.
I remember back in the day when we were at college, doing the things you do at college, you know what I mean, and watching skateboard videos just endlessly. People just
I still do now.
And but the funniest one I ever saw was, it's sick really, but everyone in there, right? They're all wearing nappies or diapers, right? And he just looks at his mate and he goes, "What you doing?" He just goes, "Taking a dump," while he stood up.
Oh,
it's obscene. But the thing is, I got to be honest.
I still watch him to this day.
Till I cried.
Yeah, I still watch him to this
someone
day.
got shot in the
CKY,
buns.
Kill City, and all that stuff. Even though I don't skate and I could barely stand on the board, let alone put my foot on it.
Man gets hit and groined by football.
Skateboarding snob, that would be actually quite funny.
The only time I ever good at skateboarding was Tony Hawk Pro Skater Skate.
Most underrated skateboard game ever is Skate It on the Wii.
On the Wii, yeah, it's not too bad. It takes a little while to get.
Trying to control it with this sounds absolutely rubbish, but once you get your around it. It's fantastic.
It's basically like playing finger skateboards, like the kids do. You know, when they're doing kickflips and stuff, you got to flip the
Do they still
remote about.
Plus, it's got the best game ever, because in the game, to explain the fact, because the console's not got much grunt, you know, compared to the 360 versions, to explain the fact that the city's empty, they make out that there was a massive natural disaster.
Right.
So when you get to the end of the game, it's brilliant, right? It's like the Skate It logo is on a skateboard like that, skating along, yeah, in front of a hand-drawn background. It looks like it's been drawn on notepaper with a cartoon Godzilla following the skateboard like that, and meteorites coming down and hitting the city, and that's the end of the game message. Plus, am I the only person who thinks the bloke who gives you advice in Skate, you know, Skate, particularly Skate 2, looks like a fat Adam Sandler?
Hang on, that's
Well, isn't Adam Sandler a fat?
no,
Adam Sandler?
that's
Yeah.
Isn't it the guy who played Brody in Mallrats? What's his name? Jason.
No, he's one of the people in it, though, isn't he? But
Yeah,
no, he assigns him to you, but the blonde bloke who's actually filming you, go and have a look. Looks like fat Adam Sandler.
I ain't played Skate in so long, so I can't remember, man.
I bought it in a charity shop, Skate 3, the other day for £1.
Are those real McCoy's crisps there, Scott?
Yeah.
Man, Chris.
Oh, what flavour's that?
Salt and vinegar, the best flavour ever.
Oh,
Thank you.
cheese and onion.
Cheese and fucking onion, my ass.
I have to agree with Scott. Salt and vinegar. best
Yeah, I'm with
flavour
Thank you.
Oh.
See, we agree with each other this week, not like last week.
ever.
Oh, what happened last week? Refresh our memories.
What, when I said about the guy deleting his channel, he's been a selfish prick?
Oh, yes.
And then I caught you on hypocrisy clause.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
I watched it.
Caring and not caring is two different things.
No, but you're saying he owes it to his audience, so he should have left it up. And then when someone asked you, but what about your old channel? If you don't log into it, it'll get deleted. And you said, I don't care. But surely that means you owe it to your audience of said channel to keep it
I
active.
think you should know now that I'm a very good mole rodder in double standards.
Yeah, I know. I based my double standards upon yours, Scott.
Well, we've got a couple of things in from RetroUnlim here. He says, Big Rigs is horrible. You can spin the truck at 500 miles per hour. And also, a special request, he wants us to do an Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Duke Nukem shout-off. What are you talking about? We cannot have that on this stream. We are not going to do that.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
That's my.
Pretty good,
I'm
actually.
all out of gum. Yeah.
Come on,
Get to
you got
the
to
chopper.
do Duke Nukem quotes with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay. Tell me a
Who
Duke.
the hell took my gum?
Those alien bastards gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
Those alien bastards are going to pay for shooting up my ride.
Dude, Nukem any good on the N64?
No.
Not particularly.
N64 sucks
The
all
third
around.
person one wasn't too bad. The third person one wasn't too bad. What was it
I
called?
am a little late to the party
Yeah.
on it.
There was Duke Nukem 0 Hour, which was a third-person one. That one was okay.
Yeah, because
yeah.
I've got both third person ones on the PlayStation, Land of the Babes, and
Time to Kill.
that's it.
And I'm
yeah.
quite surprised they really missed an opportunity here. They could have done a Mario Kart themed type racer with Duke Nukem.
That was
Duke Nukem
fucking
Racer.
awesome.
Two
Oh,
braces.
Well, actually,
clones of everything else.
they did do one racing game with Duke Nukem. It was called Death Rally, released by 3D Realms.
Oh,
back
that's
in the
right.
day.
Yeah.
Oh.
It wasn't a kart style; it was a top-down racer. But
Yeah.
you could actually have race against Duke Nukem, and he shot you with his. The cars had like machine guns and rocket launchers and oil slicks. So
Yeah,
it was
'cause
very
that game
much.
was- if I remember right, that game was a precursor to Carmageddon.
Death in the past.
It was pretty similar to it. It was actually
Yeah.
the first game by Remedy, who went on to make Alan Wake and Max Payne.
Yeah.
I
So-
played Carmageddon the other day on the N64 and my brain vomited.
Yeah, that's the seemingly worst version of the
What
game.
The
was it?
PlayStation one's okay.
I remember I had it on the PC back in the day and I patched it so you got rid of because we had zombies in it, didn't we?
Yep.
So I patched it to get the people back because obviously in the UK they thought that would make everyone drive around running people over. And
If
in
you go on
Germany, because not
Germany
allowed
was
any blood in
robots,
video
wasn't
games.
it?
Yeah, it was robots.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why we had fucking Probotector instead of Contra bastards.
I just never got my head around that.
Okay.
Does that mean Probotector then is quite sort of desirable in North America.
No.
Wait a minute. Does that mean that people in Russia are playing that game?
No.
People in
Game
Russia.
plays you.
Yes, people in Russia are playing the knockoff version.
What, Promo Contra?
Yes.
Isn't there a knockoff Russian
Driving an
Spectre?
actual truck. Graphics look so real.
Now, the way I was brought up on, when it comes to Contra, it was the American version of Contra. The European version, nah.
I
Fuck
had Contra
that
3.
shit.
I had the US version of it, but I was running it on my Super Famicom because that's how cool I was back in the day. I was an anomaly at school. And then, by the way, that's true when I said that in that video when I talked about Happy Birthday Sega Mega Drive. I was, for pretty much a year, the only person in my school to have a Sega Mega Drive.
You actually, I mean, I know you said before you've done something like importing kind of thing. I mean, how did you go about doing that?
Back of CVG. It was really easy back then. It was possibly more easy back then than it is now. Like, even though
that blows my mind.
Yeah, just black and white adverts. £189. The longest 2 weeks of my life ever for it to come in the mail.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, the imports, especially for Europe, were quite easy and cheap because of the CVG and Games Master and all that stuff. So you could see that there was quite a lot of people who readily imported the stuff from Japan.
Yeah, and blatant plug, because while he's on absence, Kid Shurikun, his latest video is one that I made for him. That's on
Yeah, and I
his
got a
channel.
reply vid for it.
So I thought I'd take advantage of the fact that, you know, it's a Japanese-themed video game channel, so I talk about the PC Engine. I never understood why it wasn't released in that form in the West, because pretty much, at least in the UK, thanks to CBG and Mean Machines, half their advertising was done for them.
Yeah, that's what I said about, I don't know if you watched my reply vid yet, Dave, but...
Not yet. I literally only got up 2 minutes before I called this thing.
Yeah, my gripe was that you look at all those magazines and Games Master. I was an avid reader of Games Master when I was a kid. So, looking at that import section, 9 out of 10 games were PC Engine. They weren't called TurboGrafx or any other thing. They were called PC Engine. So that stuck with me. So when the TurboGrafx come, alright, it wasn't very well advertised in the UK, and it didn't even hit the streets. It was mail order.
Well, yeah, it was kind of like a club book thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a mail order thing. You know, it went over my head, because if I found out that the TurboGrafx was going to be is the PC Engine in Europe, I would have bought one back as a kid, because I was obsessed by that fucking thing. I would open that magazine up and just literally look at all the shooters and all the stuff coming out for the PC Engine, and of course a Neo Geo.
Clint, the reason Scott has a TurboGrafx is because of the all-encompassing power of my brainwashing PC Engine gameplay videos.
Well, you and also Half-Bit as well.
What about Steve Benway?
Well, I didn't really watch his
He's got
channel
them all,
before then.
man.
Well, yeah. Does he have a PC Engine?
Yeah.
I believe he does, yeah.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, he
He's
does.
pretty much got. He's probably got 2 of everything. He's like fucking Noah's Ark of consoles.
There's a T-shirt right there, isn't there? Real men have
No,
PC
it's not.
engines. When he's bored, he plays
No.
Tetris with his systems.
Copyright, that's mine. The Noah's Ark of consoles. That's my T-shirt. It'll be like that shitty Mega Drive game where you got to fucking pick up the consoles over your head and drop it into the fucking boat.
What game's that?
Bible Adventures or something?
It
is actually. You stack all of the animals on top of each
that's
other.
it.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
It was also on PC, oddly enough.
Oh, God.
I remember when they actually sold it in stores here.
Was that version any better?
No,
Was it a faithful port then?
it was actually faithful in all the wrong ways.
What was the Bible games that ran on the Wolfenstein engine?
Super Noah's Ark 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that? Didn't they release that as a pop at having all the sort of Nazi symbology removed from that version of Wolfenstein?
Apparently, from what the popular opinion is that it was id sold off the technology to this other company to make a game as a fuck you to Nintendo because they ruined Wolfenstein by censoring.
Yeah, that's it.
And they didn't even care. Like here's the cartridge itself, and it's a pirated cartridge that they sold in Christian bookstores here in the U.S. And yeah, it's unlicensed. You have to plug in a compatible SNES game at the top
Past
here,
chip.
and yeah, to get past the chip. And
I don't like it, and I want to know my biggest problem with that game. It's not accurate to the story of Noah's Ark, because, you know, he's supposed to take 2 of every animal, isn't he?
Yeah,
no, there's like 15,000 of every animal, and you knock them out with food. It's like, what's the what? Why?
It's time to kick ass and kill turkeys. But I got no.
Well, hell,
although I have to say,
that's so far.
On the boat.
It's a pretty impressively large, you know, ark. It's round about the size of Battlestar Galactica.
Get in my boat, you piece of shit.
Well, you know what thing is, right? Because of the infancy, you know, how infamous these games are. Imagine if they did a new current Bible games now. It would sell bucket loads.
Yeah, Square Enix would probably do it.
Yeah.
It's called fucking Deus Ex, the Bible Edition. No, it's called Deus Ex, the Bible Edition.
It'd be a first-person shooter.
You can't play God. Fucking sword arms.
There's your marketing on the back. Bible Games 3. And on the back it says, this time you can play God.
God is back, and he's pissed off.
And with that, anyone who
that as well.
the stream has just dropped off.
He's going to copyright that as well, Scott.
No, I can't copyright that. That's a Bill Hicks joke.
Oh. Actually, how many of your jokes that you've said over the years have been Bill Hicks jokes? I don't know what to think anymore.
All of them.
Oh, no. And I thought you were original.
You just lost all your credibility, Scott.
Well, if you've seen my YouTube feed lately, all I've been doing is just like bombing fucking comedians. Chris Rock, fucking George Carlin, Bill Hicks. Just I don't know, I've been on a stand-up comedy kick at the moment. I fucking love it.
Was it inspired by my awesome Chuck Norris evening?
This is a good question, actually. Who is the YouTuber that most inspires you to create videos?
This guy.
Dave?
Yep.
Me?
Yep.
Oh, I'm touched, Scott. move your hand away. Stop touching me.
Say that one.
He's touching you.
In your man parts.
Well, if it wasn't him with those fucking flagrant PC Engine games, I wouldn't have a PC Engine. Well, graphics, whatever.
I tell you what, even though I had a pop at it in that Kid Shuriken video, do you know what I'd absolutely love? I'd love a Super Graphics. I know there's only, 4 games for it? Although it's backward compatible, isn't it? Wasn't there an amazing yoke that you stuck over the top of the entire thing?
Well, it looked a bit of an abomination anyway.
Plus, it doesn't have an absolutely shit-up version of Super Ghouls and Ghosts on it or something.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I want it for, because I love Ghouls and Ghosts. One of my favourite games of all time.
Well, I would have to say, person who inspired me to create a channel, I've said this before, was Retro Roadshow, which is a shame that seems to be on incredibly long hiatus.
I know. Well, whatever happened to that guy? He made awesome stuff.
Yeah, and I talked to him on Skype a few times. He's exactly like he is in his videos. It's brilliant.
He is. Yeah, I've talked to him too, and he's like got just as much energy and.
Yeah.
Well. Sorry.
But the person who's sort of longest running, because obviously he's on hiatus and is a bit of a cliche, I know, who kind of inspires me for videos, is Steve Benway. Because he was kind of the reason I started doing gameplays. Because initially, if you go way, 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 way back, I just vlogged.
Yes. I think I first subscribed to you when you were still mostly doing vlogs.
Yeah, same here. It was just vlogs.
It
was actually because of Steve Benway that I found you, because he mentioned you at some point on one of his talkies, I think.
I tell you what, that was odd, because I had an Android phone at the time, so obviously all my Gmail notifications went to the phone, and it's funny because I got sent an email from Crow, from Retro Roadshow, just went, dude, Steve Benway's just giving you a shout out. And I was like, I woke up, because I worked the night before, so it was kind of in the afternoon, and I was all like that, and I looked at my phone and it absolutely lit up. I think his shout out got me 100 subscribers in 24 hours. I think it's safe to say that if it wasn't for that shout out, his shout out kind of established my channel, I would say.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Well, the way I see it, my influences, they come from all over the place. I started off YouTubing in 2009, and I mostly was a WoW commentator. I was learning how to tank, and I was trying to give. I was basically a poor man's version of Wow Hobbs, if anyone's heard of him. So I started doing Warcraft videos. I got bored of that, so I started another series called Force Enjoyment, where I played games that I absolutely hated and just record live. So I basically just threw the game on, threw my audio on, and off I went. And that sort of carried on into my other channel where I did Scott Versus, where I played just fucking horrible abominations of games, including Pippa Funnel. Yeah, I'm ignorant of horses, whatever. And I also basically, my earlier videos on this channel were just experimenting. I did mod reviews.
What, experimenting like you did back in college?
No, I just like...
Guy's named Peter.
I did reviews, I did, first impressions of games, I did this and that. And then I was like, well, I got took on a forum as the retro guy because I started reviewing
retro games. Oh, that guy shafted you over.
Yeah, I started doing retro reviews, and then that's how it started the steamroll again, where I started collecting. Then I joined RetroUnlim, and I found other people who were in the same medium as me, and it just spiraled from there. But I take influence from fucking loads of people.
Well,
mainly comedians, apparently.
Oh yeah. Well, you talked about your early videos being experiments. Well, I would say that all of my videos are experiments, and they probably will be till the end of time, until I die.
Harry Yack, scientist.
What you do is like you play it like your videos are like a game of snooker. You just keep looking at separate angles and try and go for the fucking bar.
Well, I like that analogy, Scott.
Yeah, Jimmy White's cue ball for the win.
You're only saying that because the first video you saw of mine was Jimmy White's cue ball, aren't you?
Jimmy White's cue ball.
That was fucking hilarious.
Do you know what? There was a WiiWare game I downloaded, and obviously this is on my non-modded console, so I don't have it anymore. That was one good thing about, because I do like having physical copies, but one good thing about when I got my Wii U was I could access the Nintendo shop again.
Yeah.
They did a snooker game, and I'll tell you what, right? I mean, obviously you can do it on PC, but it's one of the oddest things ever to play snooker, taking it in turns on shots, on a game over Wi-Fi with someone. Like deathmatch snooker. It was a really good game, but it was really odd because you'd be like this, and because it was accurate to snooker, it was in real time. So you'd be like moving the thing around like that and looking at all the angles. That's what you remind me, Scott. You did it, and then you take your shot, and then you'd have to wait at least anywhere from 7 to 15 minutes for the other person, because that's the thing about snooker, isn't it? Eye up their shot and take a shot.
And when you pot a ball, you hear dominated.
Just one round, or one complete game of snooker would take anywhere up to 3.5 hours. But it was fun. And then halfway through, more often not, you get a spike in your connection, and then you lose the game anyway.
Yeah, I just had like a big flashback then playing fucking Quake and Unreal Tournament then. Godlike!
Unreal Tournament with the Agent X weapon pack. Does anyone else remember the Agent X weapon pack?
Yeah, that spiraled off into its own. That spiraled off into its own game entirely years later.
That was brilliant. I just used to play with bots for hours. That weapon pack, it was just fantastic. It's funny because I remember when the original Unreal came out, and I actually really liked the original Unreal, and then it's not perfect.
No.
I remember running it on a Pentium 266 with some kind of graphics card, and I remember being really proud because at that time that system was advertised as, at last, a Pentium that's fast enough to defend the Earth from aliens. It was a 266. But I was really impressed with it, and I remember being really disappointed when they announced Unreal Tournament, and I'm like, no, what, no single player? That'll never catch on. And I actually really liked Unreal Tournament.
Now it's synonymous
with the Overlord level. Oh.
I think the only other...
screw that Overlord level. Oh my god.
I think the only single-player Unreal I really enjoyed since then is on the Xbox. It was Unreal Championship 2, the Andrew Conflict, where it was the hack-and-slash third-person view when you switch to a melee weapon. That was pretty cool. But yeah, it's all multiplayer now.
I used to have a Half-Life server, and does anyone else remember this? When you could police people on your server, and if they were cheating, you could do things to them.
Yeah.
And so people were cheating on mine. I'd remove their gun and give them a wet fish, or turn them into a chicken.
The server is a free call for
People
half.
running around with fishing, and my tag as well, Counter-Strike. I was so proud of this, and then I got really annoyed when someone nicks it. My tag that I used to spray on the wall was Timmy from South Park.
Timmy!
Yeah, Timmy! See, that's funny, and I was talking about that when I did that video about, do you still buy first-person shooters for single-player campaign? And pretty much in the comments section, everyone agreed on one thing, which was the last great first-person shooter with a good single-player campaign, like absolute brilliant single-player campaign, was Half-Life 2.
Oh, okay.
And that we'll probably never get that again now.
That was a dedicated single-player shooter, so it had to have a good storyline, or it would funk. I can pick a few in my head right now. Recently, there have been a couple of single-player campaigns I really liked in a shooter.
In my head right now, there are voices.
One was Body Count, which was surprising to me, which is like a loose sequel to Black, and that was pretty good.
Black was epic.
I didn't really like Body Count, oddly enough. I found it to be
it took
really
a while to grow on
annoying.
me. It took a while to grow on me, especially
the AI was very cheap to me. I just kept feeling like I was getting very cheaply, killed off at the most random times, and I don't know. I just couldn't get a hang of it. But yeah.
And well, when Dave was talking about the video, I put a big comment below of all the games that I played recently that I love the single player for, like Killzone, Resistance, Fire Warrior, Warhammer Fire Warrior on the PS2. That's good. Shit, can't remember now. Black and Body Count and all those other games. Yeah.
I really like Black. The only problem with it was the snap-on was a bit probably snap-on is too strong a descriptive term for what it was in that game, but.
Snap-on.
More like just waving your gun randomly at someone and hoping that a bullet would hit.
Strap on.
Oh yeah.
It's funny though, but I'm gonna, as much as I stand by my video, which is I think GoldenEye is not a perfect example of the genre, but it's aged a lot better than people give it credit. I think.
Yeah.
People just go, "Oh, GoldenEye's terrible now," and it's like, no, I played through the entire campaign a couple of months ago, and it's. The only thing is, if I could play it with this.
Yes, definitely.
Because that thing down there.
With emulators, you can.
Yeah, but it's not the same. I tried it myself.
It's not the same, but it can actually. In fact, I played GoldenEye for the first time was on an N64 emulator with a mouse and keyboard. I mapped the mouse to the joystick and had the keyboard set up like a first-person shooter on a PC, and it was surprisingly playable.
Before I bought my N64, I did actually get GoldenEye of sorts running, but only at about 85% accurate speed on my Wii, and I played it with that, and that was surprisingly a good pad for playing GoldenEye on.
But even the GoldenEye Reloaded that come out years later, that's still pretty good. I don't know if you played on the Wii.
Love that.
I've got it on the Xbox.
I'm one of the few people that thinks the Wiimote is absolutely fantastic for first-person shooters.
I enjoyed it on the Wii.
And you can stick it up your butt.
I played that on the Wii using the Top Shot Elite, and it did feel like I was, playing a substantial shooter. And also I got it on the Xbox, and I really do enjoy it.
I'm a big fan of the Call of Duty games on the Wii. I think, considering the power of the hardware, they did very good representations. Which
Call of Duty 4. I haven't played any of them except Call of Duty 4, and I really enjoyed that.
SNES-tastic still got a bunch of my Call of Duty games.
Did you see? There's a porno version called Call of Booty.
Yeah,
Scott's going to do it for his channel.
No, I've already watched it. It's fucking sleep-worthy.
Sleep-worthy?
Scott is the only guy that falls asleep during a porno.
Well, what's your most interesting? What's your
favourite? Man, of course.
Your favourite game-related porno, then?
There isn't one, because they're so fucking horrible.
Well, what's the worst?
Mine is Cunt Fighter.
You can't say the C-bomb!
So what game was that?
Just edit me out.
It's live.
It's based on Street Fighter 2.
Oh, right.
Oh, there's a new TV show on Street Fighter. I forgot what it's called now. But it's out in Japan, and it's coming making our... No, there's a proper episodic TV show coming. It's out in Japan, and it's also being dubbed in the West. I can't remember what it's called now.
Is it live action?
It's live action, yeah.
Oh, see,
I'm gonna go into it as
at least
with an open mind. I want to see if it's a cool show.
I might give it a chance.
Yeah.
If it's anything like the reboot they've done to the Mortal Kombat franchise with the new series that Machinima's doing, I might give it a chance. As long as I don't kill off major characters and try and make it out to be
We'll do
Well,
the
it is
shock.
Mortal
We must
Kombat.
get everyone to notice us by killing off an established character and getting shock and awe.
Yeah, it always happens.
Storytelling.
Well, I didn't think the Mortal Kombat movies were that bad back in the 90s.
I like the original one, Christophe Lambert.
Yeah.
That's the law, by the way. That's how you have to say Christophe Lambert's name.
And then in the movie, he talks like this.
Yes,
Batman.
his incredibly accurate Scottish accent. Having said that, though, Highlander is my second favourite movie of all time.
I
I struggle to remember what my favourite movie of all time is.
Fucking Back in the fucking Future 2.
Womb Raider.
No. My favourite's Clerks.
What about Resident Beaver?
Resident Beaver. Resident Beaver. And that's what
There
happens
you
when
go.
you fucking put the DVD in.
There's a topic. Games that absolutely blew you away from what you expected when they were released. Resident Evil 2. Because
Yeah.
I was not a fan of the original Resident Evil.
Nope.
I really wasn't.
I hated Resident Evil 1. I like the director's
So-
cut.
And I remember, I think I said this before, I was very fortunate, this is the only time I'll say this, I was very fortunate that when I got my import copy of Resident Evil 2, that same weekend I broke my wrist, so I got 2 weeks off work.
I want to know how he broke his wrist.
So did you have to play that
Well,
game?
I was at college and I was experimenting.
Well, the thing is, as well,
He was
with
watching
Resident
a copy
Evil
of Resident Beaver.
2, Resident Evil 2 as well also has, well, especially the TV show, Spaced, has a little infamous
Oh, it's
scene in
brilliant,
there,
that bit.
which really, it came out years after the game came out, but that's what
Yeah, they all
epitomised my Resident Evil
were
2
themed
experience.
intros, weren't they? All of them,
Yeah.
not just the Resident Evil one. They did that one taking the piss out of Clubland and...
Well, the thing is as well, that Resident Evil skit also was the precursor to Shaun of the Dead, but anyway,
Yeah.
I remember that episode fondly because that was the same way I played Resident Evil 2.
Is that the one? I
Speeding
can't
off like
believe I
fucking
said girl
tits.
power. Hey buddy, take a bite of peach.
Yeah. Or,
Oh, Spaced, why did we never get season 3?
well, they end up making movies.
Well,
Selfish
Space
wanker.
was gone before he even started making movies, wasn't it?
Because it was supposed to be a trilogy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Babylon 5 is a big pile of shite. Get out! Oh, no, so, what's it, you don't, when he's insulting the kid who likes a Phantom Menace, but you don't know it's a kid, that bit is genius. I don't care, you saved up all your 50p's. And then he just goes, and the kid runs out the store crying, and he just goes, oh, what a prick.
Yeah. I was still
I think
losing.
I've just taught myself into watching Space tonight.
Yeah, I've got it here as well.
Oh, sorry, my voice went very West Country then. We're going to watch Space tonight, and that.
What a prick.
It was so good though, especially the Back to Future Road with the number plate spinning. And
Yeah.
do you remember the? Because I told you this is what I want to do for my, if I still have a channel, my 3,000 sub special is I want to do the gunplay bit from Spaced with
Yeah.
a bunch of gaming channels. But just one of my
Very funny.
favourite bits is because he was the bloke who voiced Darth Maul, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was.
It's the bit when he does the line from Jurassic Park when the raptors sneak up. Because that like Chav kid comes out and then he goes,
Oh, yeah.
he stands up to him and then you see all the other one come in and he just goes, clever girl. Oh. Clint, have you ever seen Spaced?
I have not.
You
Oh,
can
it's
buy
a-
it in the US.
it's a
It's
treasure
just
for
nothing
geeks, I'm
but
telling you.
pop culture references,
Yeah.
comics, movies, games, and it's got Simon Pegg in, so it's win. And it's
I don't
also
think I've
got
ever
that
heard of it
amazing
before
episode
now.
where they do Robot Fight Club. The first rule of Robot Fight Club is you don't talk about Robot Fight Club. What was the second rule? Because he balls it up, didn't he? And then the bloke from the League of Gentlemen, doesn't he, comes up to him and just goes, oh yeah, I haven't thought of that. Oh, Spaced. If somehow I could make my brain forget it so I could experience it for the first time again.
Well, no, you just go back and after a couple of beers and you won't remember shit.
Yes.
Working on it.
Keep
Working on it.
drinking, keep drinking Diet Pepsi. You might get that chance.
I was watching fucking Gundam.
Is it true
some
they
months
use
ago, and I was
Diet
so
Coke
pissed
because
off,
it's
I
got
can't remember what.
aspartame to scrape off roadkill off the American freeways?
Fuck that.
No, seriously.
I don't
And
know.
isn't aspartame a byproduct of aluminium? Or aluminum?
I
don't
know you
why
can
the
use it as a
quotation thing is
solvent. You can use it to like clean off really grimy residue and stuff because it works as a solvent.
Yeah, but
Well, you can
do
use it
that
to
Oh,
kill
that makes
ants
you really
as well.
want to drink it.
with with vinegar, though. You can pretty much do anything with vinegar.
Of course.
Vinegar is the miracle product.
But we don't drink vinegar in cans.
I'll tell you what, this is a horrible thing to say, and everyone's going to think I'm mental, but you know when you used to go and do dares with your mates, like when you were at college and experimenting?
Drink a bottle of
I was in a
vinegar.
pub and someone bet me 10 quid that I couldn't chug the bottle of vinegar that was on the table we were sat at.
Dave, I thought you liked vinegar.
I do, but not by
Yeah,
that
but
standard.
not for a fucking bottle of it, no.
So I chugged it straight down, and I tell you what, that was some horrible, as you would expect, acidic reaction after that. Oh, but
It was
the
shitting
point
pickles
is,
that
I
night.
won £10, so all was good, at least until the next day.
Oh
Did it
dear.
sting when you pissed?
Fuck, mate, I was basically piss and solvent.
Yeah.
It's funny,
Shitting
I took a
pickles.
whiz, and I could just smell vinegar, as you probably would expect.
It cleaned the toilet.
Yeah.
Cleaned you out as well, fucking vinegar.
Oh, does anyone else, and I don't even
Colostomy.
smoke now, but it's funny, does anyone else remember when you used to be able to, this is going to be one of those generation defining standards, you know, like instead of back in the day, it was, I remember it well, it was a time when we could still smoke in pubs.
Yeah, now we've got to
Generations
sit
from
in
now,
that.
isn't no going to get to know that. You
Now
see,
we've got
when
to
I
sit in
was
a
lad, it
fucking-
was brilliant, you'd go to the pub, even if you didn't smoke, and you come back stinking off bags.
Yeah, now you sit in a fucking bar that just stinks of piss and fucking spilled
Yeah,
beer.
someone said that. It used to cover up the smell of the fact that they never cleaned the carpets properly whenever someone spilt a pint. And that you never realised that these places smelt quite god-awful because, well, the smell of fags covered everything up. It was one good thing about it. Cigarettes, to those of you in North America, sorry.
Of course, yes.
Called a fag.
That's what made me laugh. I told you, I watched that episode of Family Guy, Chap at the Manor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I caught him with a fag in his mouth again this morning. I've only come here to shout wanker at Prince Charles. Wanker, wanker, you wanker. Yes, yes, I know.
I thought there were...
What's that, dudes and dudettes? It's
Oh.
Rich.
He's
Hello,
frozen.
No!
He's staring rather intently at me.
Yeah.
He's been frozen by Pat Sharp.
He froze me in his terrible, terrible mulleted grip.
Mullet Ray.
Well, what happened to Pat Sharp?
And
He's
kept
not
you in
here.
his basement.
For our North American guests, Harry put up a picture of Pat Sharp in full mullet glory. You won't believe that someone in England had a mullet that outclips everyone's mullets in North America. Seriously.
Even Joe Dirt.
Oh, this is...
Even
Joe Dirt.
It wasn't so much a mullet, it was more like Aslan's mane.
Well, when you see this mullet, you want to fucking start singing Achy Breaky Heart.
It had powers that you wouldn't believe.
Some say... No, I can't do it.
Power of the
He
mullet.
used to fight
Oh,
crime.
there he is.
Oh, that's lovely.
What you can't see is, right, between the bottom of the mullet and the top of the mullet, it's so huge. That's 2 time zones right there.
It's like a bunch
Oh,
of
man,
dead
that's
badges
hideous.
sellotaped
Look at his
together.
face, how he's sat on your Wii remote.
Is that during his porn years?
Looks like a Muppet.
He does, actually.
Pat Sharp's
He looks like, no, he looks like Sam the Eagle, look.
Yeah.
It is the American way. I mean, it is the British way. Oh, no, I've just taught myself into watching Muppets Christmas Carol. It started, by the way, people, it started Christmas
You
viewing
get distracted
pleasure.
pretty easily, man.
It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. Stupid monkey.
Simpsons. Simpsons.
Simpsons did it.
Right, RetroUnlim is shouting at me. He wants me to do a shout-out for somebody who is apparently known as Ben Daglish. Apparently he is this famous musician, this video game musician, although I've never heard of him personally.
It's Kenny's brother.
Yeah, but is he really famous if you've never heard of him?
Yes, actually, I went to see him at Play Expo, a few weeks ago. And apparently...
Who the fuck is he?
I don't know.
Well, go and watch my video and you can find out, Scott. But
I
apparently...
thought you watched all of his videos, Scott.
No.
You did make that rather jolly snooker reference.
Well, apparently, this Ben Dalglish bloke, I don't know who he is, he might be coming on the show next week.
Yay! Some guy who we don't know. Yay!
Awesome. Right, imagine if we had him and Pat Sharp on.
You know what?
I think we should get Longboy on.
I
See what
think
I
we need
Yes.
to get.
Someone needs to colour in that picture of Pat Sharp blue, and he really will look like Sam the Eagle.
I think we need
Oh, I
to
can
get
do
Matt
that.
Pat from Game Theory on the show and start talking theories.
We should have a Christmas special.
Yes, we should.
Wait for the
Yes,
dust
I was
bunny to
Ghost of
blow by
Christmas
then.
Future.
Let's get Santa Claus on the show.
Well, you got Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Can I just say to all our viewers under the age of 12,
Sorry, no.
first of all, you shouldn't be watching this because Scott's language is appalling. Second of all, Santa
Buckboard.
doesn't exist. I
I
found out, right, that Santa, this is true, I found out that Santa didn't exist from my milkman.
Was he coming out of your mum's room at the time?
Yes, but then he asked me for directions to your mum's room, and I was too happy to oblige. No, I mean, if there's kids around, you because obviously I'm like 6, yeah? And then I felt really annoyed that we left food out for basically my dad to come back and drink. Like, we used to leave ale out for Santa, and then I realised after this that I was coming out.
I'll just picture this
If you want
workman
to
coming out of your
But yeah,
mum's
no, the
room
milkman
taking
was
his shirt
talking
off.
to the neighbour and didn't realise I was behind him, and he was just going, I can't believe those people in that house still believe in Father Christmas. I didn't believe in Father Christmas when I was 6. I'm like, in my defence, you bastard, I was 6. Am I allowed to believe in Santa at 6? I think I am.
And then your mum came out with a baseball bat and wanted to kill
But
him.
it doesn't matter because that was the year I got
This
Optimus
child.
Prime.
Oh, awesome. What did I get when I was 6? I got a
Mouse system.
Nintendo Entertainment System.
You rich bastard.
Fucking
My
hell.
dad, my dad was kicked out of the house, and he
Yeah, I'm not
Became
surprised.
your Nez became your surrogate father.
no, he wanted to sort of buy his way back in. He bought his way back in with me with a NES. I was like,
Gentlemen.
"Oh, Daddy."
Gentlemen, I'm requesting a test from one of you. Can you check that we are still running on the stream because I'm getting a Google 502 error. So we may be off air right now.
We are
Still got live on here.
off
We're
air.
running.
Are we?
Yes.
Well, then I'm going to take said opportunity to go for a slash.
What did I get when I was 6?
Google's crashed. Yay!
The whole of YouTube's crashed,
Oh, brilliant.
from what I could see anyway.
Well, my GTA sessions crashed.
I've got no idea what I had when I was 6, which would have been 1987. So, I don't
Oh, you
know.
old bastard.
Transformers,
was-
probably.
6 years old, that would have been, 1990. So, yeah, I think it was either a Mouse System or something Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle related. And that's Ninja Turtle, not Hero.
Ninja Jewish.
Oh,
Well,
dear.
it was 1978 when I was 6, so I don't even remember. I'm old.
Gave you a cloth. Here's
Oh
son.
my
Here's a dish
God.
rag. Here's a calendar.
Yeah, it looks like it's stopped at 2:35. I'll just...
Mine's still running.
Hell,
235
really?
what?
2:35:40.
Mine's still running. 235, 58, 59, 60. Still running.
Well, I just put a comment out onto the comments. No shit. See if we got any people responding.
Well, I don't know if he introduced me or not. Wingnut 4427.
Oh, your
Gaming history source.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, he did say about it. Let's compare.
Yeah.
Yeah, thought so.